the scene for the inaugural CP Challenge Cup, a midget hockey tournament won by the Red Deer Optimist Chiefs. Now called the Max World Invitational AAA Midget Hockey Tournament, this holiday tradition continues to showcase hockey's future. The best 15 to 17-year-old players from all corners of the globe come to Calgary to show their stuff to the world. Many NHL stars are seen here first. Mike Vernon, Mike Modano, Jerome McGinley, and Sidney Crosby all played in the Max. The 25 male and 15 female teams have been battling for the last 6 days for the chance to play on New Year's Day, where the tournament moves from the Max Bell Arena to the grand stage of the Saddle Dome. For this, the Max Midget Championship Day on Shaw TV.
Well, we started our broadcast day at the Max Bell Arena and have made the 20-minute drive to the Scotiabank Saddle Dome in downtown Calgary for the male final of the Max Midget Hockey Championship. Now, tonight's game features a Calgary area team, the UFA Bisons from Strathmore, Alberta, against the furthest traveling team, Russia's Severstal Locomotive. We'll have more on the Russian team in our first intermission, but for an analysis on tonight's matchup, let's go to Peter Loubardias and Bill Wims. Guys, we've made it here in the nick of time.
Yes, Alana, there was not a lot of time to spare, and thank goodness, Bill, that the proximity is pretty close. We had a gem of a final in the girls' event with Regina knocking off the Edmonton Thunder in overtime. I have a funny feeling we might be in for another gem here this evening.
Yeah, two teams that are undefeated, as so often you are when you get to this level, but I like this team from Russia.
The Russians are very skilled, and they're back in the tournament for the first time since winning it in 2007, and here's how they got to this point.
If you look up their goals total, they had 19 there, Peter, from 12 different goal scorers. You see what happened in the quarterfinals. They beat the team from the Czech Republic. And then really with only 14 skaters last night playing their second game in a day, they got the job done against St. Albert.
They're a little healthier, it looks like, for this game in the championship affair. Let's meet their captain and the rest of Severstal Lokomotiv.
My name is Nikita Kvartalov. I am assistant captain of the Russian Severstal. We are a Russian team. Now meet my teammates.
Виктор Балдаев, номер 2, защитник.
Василий Хабаров, номер 6, нападающий.
Артем Першин, номер 9, защитник.
Назаров Виталий, номер 11, нападающий.
Олег Дубинин, номер 14, нападающий.
Ахмед Гимбатов, номер 15, нападающий.
Леонид Побатаев, номер 28, защитник.
Василий Демченко, номер 31, вратарь. Артур Чувеляев, номер 32, нападающий.
Егор Зайцев, номер 39, вратарь. Денис Бухальцев, номер 40, нападающий.
Никита Карнаухов, номер 55, защитник.
Николай Киселев, номер 68, нападающий.
Михаил Тихонов, номер 73, защитник.
Артем Воробьев, номер 81, нападающий.
Я Евгений Лызин, номер 87, нападающий.
Я Сергей Сахарусов, номер 93, защитник.
Я Александр Шаров, номер 96, нападающий.
Bill, I've had the opportunity to call a lot of Russian games in my career, but I can never make those names sound like that, and I won't be able to do it again tonight, but we'll give it our best shot. The UFA Bisons have more than given it their best shot. 5th in the Alberta Midget AAA League coming in, but boy, oh boy, they've hit lightning in a bottle when they've needed to.
Well, again, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good Calgary Flames team they beat on December 1st, yesterday there in the quarterfinals, and arguably the best team in the entire, most complete team in the boys division here, the Prince Albert Mintos. They came in the tournament 25-4 into the playoffs, 25 goals scored, 4 against. That was a big win over that team, and maybe they're just peaking at the right time as well.
They've played exceptionally well. Let's meet their captain and the rest of his mates.
I'm Mitch McAllister, number 10, captain of the UFA Bisons. We are a tough and gritty team. Now meet my teammates.
Wilson Sproul, number 1, goalie.
Lenny Hackman, number 2, defense.
Tyler Hayes, number 3, defense.
Parker Evans Campbell, number 4, center.
Tyler Wong, number 5, left wing.
Zach Wittenberg, number 6, defense.
Dale Nerlin, number 7, defense.
Rylan Muntrath, number 8,
left wing.
John Irvin, number 9, defense.
Devin Westby, number 11, right wing.
Aaron Macklin, number 12, left wing.
Kevin O'Rourke, number 14, left wing.
Austin Massey, number 16, right wing.
Josh Betnall, number 17, center.
Connor Bleakley, number 18, right wing.
Alex Bechtold, number 21, center.
Owen Ferguson, number 22, defense.
Brody Villette, number 23, left wing.
Grayson Sharp, number 30, goalie.
Bill, 2 unbeaten teams. Something's got to give because somebody's going to win this game and the title.
Yeah, the Bison won it in 1998. This team from Russia won this tournament in 07. They've obviously totally different players, but the history, the background of winning at the Max is there, and I'm sure they're going to get it done again today.
Down to ice level again, and here's Alana.
Thanks, guys. First period action is coming up after the break. You are watching the Max Midget Championship on Shaw TV.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Friday, January 6th when the WHL on Shaw returns from the holiday break with the Southern Alberta dust-up between the Medicine Hat Tigers and Lethbridge Hurricanes. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
Celebrate the kickoff to Recreation's 100th anniversary with hockey in Calgary. Olympic Plaza will come alive on January 1st with skating, hockey demos, and activities in partnership with Hockey Calgary and the 2012 IIHF World Junior Championship. Visit calgary.ca Rec 100 for details.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Red Bull Crashed Ice, returning to Quebec City in 2012. For more details, visit redbull.ca.
And ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to please remain standing and join Miss Hannah Smart in the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
What better way to kick off 2012 than to renew the Canada-Russia rivalry with the title of the Max Midget Tournament on the line, as Canada being represented by the UFA Bisons. As for Russia, Severstal Lokomotiv. This is 17-year-old Vasily Demchenko in the 2 playoff games yesterday. Spectacular. He turned aside 72 of the 75 shots he's faced. And make no mistake, for the team that hails out of Strathmore, Alberta, nearby here in Calgary, 17-year-old Wilson Sproul, a huge reason, Bill Wilms, why this team has made it to Championship Sunday night. He's turned aside 52 of the last 56 shots that he has faced.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Peter. In the league that he plays in, this is the Alberta Midget League, he's a .913 save percentage, but he's elevated in the round robin to .945. You don't win this tournament, you don't win many tournaments without top-level goaltending. Wilson Spruill's only 5'9", doesn't cover a ton of net, but boy, is he a battler.
Igor Petrov, the head coach of this Russian team, trying to win a Max tournament title for the second time since 2007 when they beat the Vancouver Northwest Giants. Jeremy Friesen, in his first year as the head coach, behind the bench of the UFA Bisons.
Well, the thing, too, that both coaches have to be cognizant of in this tournament, it can be a real grind, and one of the things you have to be careful about is you don't wear your guys down. Remember, they're 16, 15, 17-year-old players, and yesterday they all played 2 games.
They met in a pre-tournament game in Strathmore on December 23rd. The Russians won that game 4-2. This is Winner Take All, and we're underway. Glad to have you with us wherever you're looking in on Shaw. Alexander Sherov, a talented 16-year-old, stopped up at the line. Baldayev pressured by Connor Bleakley, who has 5 goals to lead the Bisons in the tournament. He's a first-round pick of the Red Deer Rebels, 21st overall in the 2011 Bantam draft. His shot is blocked. Mikhail Tikhonov. Pass for Obiov, and out to center it goes. The Russians change it. Here's Bleakley. Connor Bleakley, his pass attempt. Blocked as Tikhonov tries to play it past him and unable to do so. Turning is Mitch McAllister. McAllister, watched closely by Denis Buhalsev. Good early pressure by the Bisons. Macklin to the front of the net, and Baldayev knocked that down, and back comes Artur Chuvalayev. Chuvalayev to the line. Leaves it for Kiselev, and it's blown down on the offside.
I love the resilience that the Russians showed yesterday in that semifinal game. We talked about it a little bit in our open, but really the turning point of that hockey game, remember they had 14 skaters. They're trailing 2-0 against St. Albert. They kill off a 2-man advantage, a St. Albert advantage, and then turn the game around. They start pecking away, got it to 2-1, 2-2, and scored in the last 2 minutes to win that game.
In transition, this Russian team is dynamite. You can't afford to make those mistakes in neutral ice. Pretty typical of a lot of talented Russian teams.
Terrific quickness, Peter.
Kiselev directs it out to center, and Owen Ferguson will shoot it right back in. The 17-year-old defenseman, he has 2 goals in this tournament. Tyler Wong, he's a 15-year-old. Draft pick of the Medicine Hat Tigers. Brody Vallette to Tyler Wong. Wong's pass, good stick that time from Nazarov, and again, the Bisons collect it. Vallette, good lead pass. Here's the speedy Josh Betnall trying to drive the net. Failed to take the puck with him. Ferguson into the slot. Betnall, a quick shot. That one goes wide. Baldayev towards Vartalnov, and the puck out to center ice and cleared directly back in as the Bisons control the early part of play here to begin this game. Vartalnov scampers into the zone, taps it in front. Dubinin had a chance, but stick lifted by Alex Bechtold might have saved the goal. As Dubinin was by himself briefly. Tikhonov a drive, and that hits Massey. Russians' first good pressure. Vartalnov drives it right through the crease, and he's stopped. Chandler Irvin, 5 points, enjoying an excellent tournament. Mikhail Tikhonov to Ahmed Gimbatov. Gimbatov enters the zone, puts on the brakes, back towards the line, and it'll come out to neutral ice. Dubinin. Sharov has to wait for his mates to get onside. He's crunched by the Bison's captain McAllister. Plays big despite the fact he's about 5'10". And he is number 10 and carries in this time, but it's offside.
This is what I think that the Bison have to be careful about, as most teams do when they play a Russian team, Peter. This is a guy that's going to run into all kinds of problems checking-wise there, but guess what? He gets a puck to the far side of the net. That's Dubinin going to the net. Often the guy in the Russian system without the puck is most dangerous. He'll sneak in behind you, he'll get to the spot and open ice, and goodness knows this team is good at getting him the puck.
Russians top line on the ice right now with Leeson, Vorobyov, and Sharov. And Leeson and Sharov are both just 16.
Well, the thing that the Russians do so well, and we've seen that every year that we watch this team play, and I've talked about it earlier, the quickness, the explosiveness, they lose their checks quickly, quick turns. They're very, very solid on their skates. They're tough to knock off the puck. I mean, to put it simply, Peter, they're very, very fantastic at the individual skills. But having said that, I think the UFA Bisons have done a nice job of trying to set the tempo here in the first period.
They're hard to score on and hard to play against, and that's exactly how Jeremy Friesen's team has been in this tournament.
And again, like we said in the girls, the females when we did it, Jeremy Friesen known to tell his guys, boy, this is the tournament you remember the rest of your life. Let's just go out and win it now. It becomes a little bit more memorable.
Parker Evans-Campbell to center Aaron Macklin off of Parker Evans-Campbell, and Demchenko forced to make a good save. Kiselev knocked off the puck by Evans-Campbell again. Evans-Campbell, number 4 of the Bisons, with 3 goals in the tournament, quickly up the middle towards Denis Puhaltsev, and William Sproul taking no chances.
Vasily Demchenko, you talked about it, Peter. He's been really, really solid. You said 72 of the last 75 shots he's faced, he's saved. He's played every single game in this tournament so far for the Russian Hockey Club.
Bisons find themselves shorthanded, a kneeing penalty to number 11, Devin Westby, and the Russians with the game's first power play. And you don't want to be taking a lot of penalties against this group.
Penalty number 11, Devin Westby.
Artem Pershin, pressured by McAllister, in deep and aggressive. Vartalnov. Habarov, as Irvin strips him of the puck, but he lost his stick in the process. Nazarov finds Vartalnov. Karnakov. And now Artem Pershin. That shot deflected wide of the net. Betnal, speedy winger, finds an opening and backhands it down the ice. Betnal, 2 goals and an assist in the tournament, has his stick slashed out of his hand, and there goes the Russian power play, Bill.
Yeah, again, you know what was impressive for the Bison? The shot went, they picked it up, and they got it out. And then as the Russians try to bring it back in, Joshua Betnal, I thought did a terrific job of moving up to force the pressure right along the boards. There he is, and he's hauled down. That's a little bit of concern by the Russian team that, we may give up a shorthanded chance, and rightfully so.
Teams will play 4-on-4 as Igor Petrov looks on for the next 1 minute and 12 seconds.
He loves to see the tempo of this tournament and how his team reacts. One of the first tournaments that they play, usually for this Severstal Lokomotiv team, they come over here and he just wants to see if his team can react to the pace of the play. And obviously they've been doing a pretty good job.
In this tournament, it's an interesting format. You play 2 playoff games, Bill, on the same day. And the Russians beat a very good St. Albert team last night. 3-2, they trailed 2-0, and they did so with only 14 skaters.
Yeah. They're somewhat unorthodox at times. I found that in that game last night. To start the third period, teams came on the ice. There were 2 Russian players that went to the goaltender. No other Russian player came on the ice for, a good 30, 40 seconds. They hugged each other a little bit. The game was still on the line. But boy, when it comes to those puck handling skills, it's impressive. Now, 4-on-4, it's all about puck possession. You don't dump, you don't chase. You want to make sure that you've got pucks.
Tyler Wong muscled down by Sharov. And Zach Wittenberg clears it in. Wittenberg's been a nice addition plays primarily midget AA hockey in Strathmore with Wheatland. Sharov with some room. Sharov! He's hooked down. Might it be a penalty shot? Probably not.
Well, again, this is how quickly they move it up the ice. They do it 5-on-5, the Russians do. Why not do it 4-on-4 equally well? Watch this quick headman pass. Again, that's just skating into open ice. Wow, I mean, they catch, the UFA Bison, Zach Wickenberg having to come back. Yeah, it's awful close. And boy, look at the goaltender trying to make sure. He's got no idea that net's knocked off its moorings. He's only got one job in mind, Wilson Sproul, and that's keep that puck from going over the line. But there's the penalty. And for the Bison, Peter, lucky, I think it's not a penalty shot.
Pretty close. Wittenberg sits down for hooking, and the Russians work now 4-on-3. 18-year-old Artem Vorobyov, Sharov, and Tikhonov. Vorobyov to Tikhonov. Tikhonov again. Vorobyov through the seam, Sharov and Sproul got across in a hurry. Vorobyov, Tikhonov, Baldaev, robbed twice as Sproul comes up large, as he's done all tournament. Vorobyov again for Tikhonov. Look at the puck movement here. Tikhonov, block shot by McAllister. Vorobyov through the seam, forces Sproul to make a great save. Now 4-on-4 as Sharov's shot going wide, but gloved by William Sproul.
What a job. You know, when you're on a 4-on-3 or 5-on-3 situation, this is a 4-on-3, you want to get the goaltender, Peter, in what's called a no angle or a zero angle position. He's got no depth, he's got no angle, and he's got no body position, except that little guy battles like crazy. And I've never seen a goaltender that small battle any harder than I've seen Wilson Sproul do. And then right after that, they got a great block shot. You need that when you're killing a penalty off.
Bill, in my travels, I've seen him about 10 or 11 times this year. I've yet to see him have a bad night.
Well, you know, when you're 5'9", you expose a lot of the net, so you must rely on two things, your positioning and your reflexes. And man, is this kid quick. He wasn't even close to being beaten on those two.
So true. Leeson 4-on-4 for 5 more seconds. And then the Russians head back to the power play again, which technically I believe would be their third.
Well, you got me working with you, and I'm never going to be good at keeping stats, Pete. I never have. I rely on you guys.
Bechtold, Alex Bechtold, the 17-year-old. His brother Markson is a very good player, a 15-year-old, but he's hurt. He got hurt earlier in the tournament. Buhaltsev has 8 points. He's the Russians' leading scorer. Denis Buhaltsev drops it off. The return pass. Baldaev right on target. It didn't look like it had much on it, but it caused Sproul some issues, but he turned it aside anyway. Baldaev for Kiselev. And Kiselev failed to handle it. And the Russians ice the puck as that shortened power play comes to a conclusion.
You know, it's an old cliche, and I don't always like to use it, but it is so true, isn't it, Peter? The goaltender often has to be your best penalty killer, and it just always seems to come down to that. And certainly Sproul was there.
Bleakley with a very hard wrist shot off the draw, and Demchenko with a great save of his own. Bleakley with 3 of his 5 goals in the playoffs, including the game winner in yesterday's semifinal win over the Saskatchewan Midget AAA League's Prince Albert Mintos. Bleakley for Rylan Muntrath. Tikhonov swats it to the line, and now Leeson helps it out. Sharov 2-on-1 developing. Leeson, I believe, is going to take a penalty.
Yeah, you know what he did there? He kind of held his man up. This is another really good call. It might be an obvious call. I'm not so sure about that. But Leeson just holds the UFA Bison player up so that he can get a chance to break away. That's the save. That was a Bleakley's chance, I think, that you were talking about. Here it is. Watch him. Watch him hold it. See him hold him right there? That allows his teammate to come in and pick up the puck. Good eyes, good call.
The Bisons with a power play now. pass out of the reach. They wave off the icing. The Russians didn't like that very much as Karnakov clears it, not out.
Severstal locomotive penalty.
Pershin a chance to do so, and Artem Pershin makes no mistake. Chandler Irvin, 5 points in the tournament. He'll shoot it in. Pershin back to it first to Bohaltsev. And he effectively uses the glass to send it the length of the ice.
You know, you get those dump-ins like that. One of the skills of a good dump-in, Peter, is putting it into a spot that you can retrieve it.
Parker Evans Campbell to the slot area. No trouble again for Bohaltsev. And down the ice it goes. Teams making changes. 1:03 to go on the power play. Owen Ferguson. He dumps it in. Betnal racing after it. Takes a solid jolt from Tikhonov, and Tikhonov's been very strong in the early part of this opening period.
Again, 3 times the Bison have tried to dump it in. Not once have they retrieved it. They got 37 seconds left on a power play. Now that is a battle for that loose puck. All right, we got possession. Let's go to work.
McAllister leads the team in points in the tournament with 6. Lost his balance. And shorthanded, this is Nikolai Kiselev. Takes it right back from Ferguson. Kiselev, wrist shot off a stick of his own defender, and Sproul saw that go just wide. Bleakley in transition. Connor Bleakley lopes into the zone. Bleakley tied up by Pershin. Wins the battle to McAllister. McAllister trying to jam it on the short side. Demchenko would have none of it. Backhanded, held in by Nerland, and then off Bleakley and out to neutral ice. So Severstal Lokomotiv able to kill off the Bison's power play. Gimbatov at 5 points in a game in this tournament against the Vancouver Canadians. Vartelnov, a dangerous forward. Gimbatov to Vartalnov. Big Dale Nerland with good body position on Vartelnov, and then some help from Wittenberg. Pershin carries on, tipped in front by Gimbatov. Went through the crease and wide. Massey trying to settle it down, but he can't handle it. Habarov. His wrister, that hits Massey and goes wide as the Russians applying all kinds of pressure looking for the game's first goal. And Bechtold skeets it out. Alex Bechtold. And Tikhonov with an old-fashioned hip check as he continues to have an impact in this game. Chandler Irvin moves in. Irvin and another block shot, and guess who? Tikhonov again.
He's been everywhere. Good job. 5'11", 165, skates well, body position, excellent.
Some kind of start to the game for Mikhail Tikhonov. That pass off Tyler Wong's stick and out of play. You're watching the championship game of the Max Midget Tournament from Scotiabank Saddledome on Shaw Television.
For 100 years, Recreation has been providing accessible sports, fitness, arts and culture, and leisure time activities for Calgarians. Celebrate historically significant recreational achievements in our community throughout 2012. There's more than you think at Calgary.ca Recreation.
Each year, more kids and teens all over Canada are learning about nature through the Robert Bateman Get to Know program.
I wish that the kids in Canada would get to know the names of their neighbors of other species.
Discover fun facts about the natural world around us and enjoy the creative art of Canadian students.
This calendar is full of beautiful art from young Canadian artists.
Get outdoors, get the calendar, get to know. Order the calendar at gettoknow.ca.
No score here in the first period. This is not the Russian coach, but the interpreter Vladimir joining us. And how's the Russian coach Petrov felt about the start to this game?
Well, the UFA Bisons is pretty speed team. Very fast, very good team. We have played an exhibition against them, and it should be a tough game.
Thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck.
Yep, thank you.
Evgeny Lizin, a backhander, goes wide. Lizin was terrific in the 2 playoff wins yesterday over Hamatov of the Czech Republic, and then in the semi-final victory over St. Albert. Lizin into the slot. Sharov robbed again by Sproul. William Sproul, sensational in this first period. Brody Vallette, he'll shoot it in. Gives chase. Pershin to Sharov. Just out of the reach of Kiselev as Karnakov carries in. Here's Aaron Macklin, but there to greet him is Buhaltsev. Bill, way more energy in the Russian game to begin tonight than the second game they played last night against St. Albert.
Yeah, no question, but I love the way the Bison are responding to that as well, although it's been an awful lot of the goaltender William Sproul. The Russians out shooting UFA right now 8-2.
These kids have played a lot of hockey this week. Game 7 for both of them. Kiselev set up beautifully by Chuvalev. Kiselev again. Chuvalev drives the net. Ran into Sproul. The Russians showing how talented they can be here in the first, despite the fact they have yet to find the back of the net. Out shooting the UFA Bisons to this point, 8-2.
So often we talk about winning battles along the boards and having guys go to the net. We talked about the Russians being able to do that. Watch off the back wall. Terrific body position. Peter, you can't go in there and forecheck any better than that and then make that pass. Look where William Sproul is. He's just at the top of the paint or the crease area, which is exactly where you have to be. He hasn't lost position, Peter, one time so far in the net. We've played 6 minutes and 11 seconds. It's a scoreless tie. He's faced 8 Russian shots, and he's literally not only been flawless, but look at his position. Look where he goes. Look how he reads the play. Not the biggest guy. Get out of my way so I can see that puck. That's all he wants to do is get it and freeze it, and he's done a great job.
Listed at 5'8" and 150 pounds. Bleakley through the seam, knocked down by Viktor Baldayev. And here's the Russians again. Khabarov, Vartalnov, Nazarov, the one-timer, but well wide of the net. Told you they're pretty good in transition. McAllister, his shot, and that's scooped easily by Vasily Demchenko.
You know, Peter, it seems so simple to talk about it, but it's done so many times in practice. But when you rush up the ice, what do you want to do? Watch the Russians. They cover length and width of the ice. Is this a turnover we're going to see right here? And then a great job of going the other way where they've got guys going left side, they got going right side, and they got guys coming up the middle. And you just can't cover an attack any better than that.
Ferguson to Tyler Hayes. Good lead pass for Bechtel. Ahmed Gimbatov runs in to Haste. Haste is property of the Swift Current Broncos. They listed him last year. Pershin on the wing, Gimbatov, and here's a 2-on-1 developing. Buhaltsev and Dubinin. Buhaltsev, Dubinin tried to go back to Gimbatov, the third member of the line, but it was broken up. Pershin, Gimbatov can't find it, and the Bisons ice the puck.
That's a good play to ice it. I'm going to tell you why. There was that 2-on-1 that developed, and they just missed as the player tried to feed it back to the high trailing man. And Peter, right after that, it was a turnover by the UFA Bisons. And when they got that puck back again, they realized, listen, we just made 2 mistakes. We're not going to make a third one. We'll take the face-off in our zone.
Wong, and just pushed in on the offside. 15-year-old Tyler Wong helped Team Alberta to a gold medal at the Under-16 Prospects Tournament put on by the Western Hockey League in October in Moose Jaw. A very strong group of 15-year-old hockey players. coming to a Western Hockey League arena near you soon.
Absolutely. We have UFA Bisons, you mentioned this earlier, 5 players listed or drafted by Western Hockey League teams. The Western Hockey League players in the Max tournament, the Medicine Hat Tigers, the Lethbridge Hurricanes, and the Spokane Chiefs all had 11 players in the event. And we won't even go down the list of how many had less than 10, but believe me, there's a lot of representatives playing in this tournament.
Vorobyov one-on-one with Chandler Irvin, who does well. Sproul at the side of the net, having trouble controlling it. Leeson to a loose puck. Evgeny Leeson. And Wong breaks it up and sends it ahead to Betnal, and Betnal greeted immediately by 16-year-old defenseman Victor Baldaev.
Yeah, I think the Bisons have to find a way, and this is what happens. And, you know, a good team will always respond when pushed. You don't want to be passive. You don't want to be a watcher in your own zone. You want to be proactive. A lot of pace dictated at this point by the team that's got the puck right now, and somehow those are the turnovers they're looking for.
An opportunity for Ferguson, but a good block shot by Karnakov.
Yeah, good job by Ferguson. 2 goals, one of 4 Bisons with 2 goals in the round robin. Irving, Bleakley, Evans, Campbell, the other, picks that puck up, gets to that spot for the shot. Even a better, that is an impressive block. You're going to make a mistake, you want to make sure that you get back and get a piece of it. A little bit of an unorthodox block, but it was at that, and it got it up into the netting.
Nikolai Kiselev. A nifty move through the feet of Ferguson. The Russians have brought their A game to this final, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing to show for it yet, though. That's the great news if you're a supporter of the UFA Bisons.
You know what happens after, you know, a while of this kind of pressure, Peter? And I mean, the shots are 8-3, but let's be honest, there's been, I'm going to count 5 pretty good scoring chances. But what happens eventually is the team starts wearing you down. They wear you down. The more you play in your own zone, the more you're always having to make decisions on who to cover. And, you know, often the case is who's my man to cover and how long do I stay with him?
Rylan Muntrath runs into Mikhail Tikhonov, and then Bleakley upends Baldaev. Baldaev quickly towards Chuvalayev. Artur Chudalayev to Kiselev. He scored 2 in the quarterfinal against the Czechs yesterday. Buhaltsev in behind Chuvalayev. And Dale Nerlin carries ahead. Nerlin picked a pretty good time, Bill, to score his first goal of the year, period, yesterday. The winner in the quarterfinal triumph over the Calgary Flames.
Obviously, kids just love when the game's on the line to do that kind of thing. You're right. The UFA Bison, Peter, they're the only team in the tournament without their names on their jersey?
Could be. Irvin squeezes Vartelnov down with a solid jolt.
Oh, those are good one-on-one battles. To beat the Russians, you have to win the one-on-one battles. There's one there.
Persson, weak shot.
There's a battle going to be there.
Lenny Hackman, a good outlet. Then Massey turns it over. Habarov one-hands it to Vartelnov. Quick turning Vartelnov to Persson. And in the shooting lane was Massey. Good block by Massey that time as O'Rourke has it along the boards. Kevin O'Rourke to Chandler Irvin. And the Bisons exit the zone as Bechtold clears it in. Under 2 minutes to go in what's been an entertaining first period of this Max Midget AAA final. Artem Persson to Oleg Dubinin, and he's crunched. You could feel it all the way up here by Tyler Wong.
You take that puck up at the blue line. You take it at any time where you're not sure what's behind you. Tyler Wong, 5'9", a 15-year-old, 168 pounds, comes in and makes that hit. By the way, 11 goals, 10 assists, the 21 points for Wong, second on the UFA Bison in scoring. And you mentioned it earlier, Peter, he is a 5th-round Lethbridge Hurricane draft pick.
5 assists in the tournament. Tikhonov. Ferguson backhands it. Buhaltsev ran into Villette. Villette playing up front on the wing. He's played a lot of defense this season. Number 23 of the Bisons. Sproul out to play it. Sweeps it for Haste. It's a tough pass on the boards to handle that time. Bettenall trying to dig it loose. Clears it, not out. Karnakov kept it in.
Play in the first period.
Buhaltsev, 8 points in the tournament. Gimbatov on the cycle with Dubinin and Buhaltsev. Haste in good position, lost his stick as he kicked it along the boards. Buhaltsev again with some room, tries to go upstairs. So quick off the boards. Bill, you mentioned that to me when we were watching the game last night.
That first step explosiveness, huh?
No better illustration than Buhaltsev right there to get to the net.
And Peter, what we're going to show you here is what the Bisons can't do. Sproul's going to make a good play to go back behind the net and clear the puck. And watch where they put it. They put it right to the wall blindly, and there's a Russian player right there to make sure that he's got it. You can't give this puck to that spot there because they're going to be on you. Puck support is great. You're going to turn it over every time. You have to make passes to guys, obviously, that are open. And, Peter, that's sometimes fairly hard to do, to read the guy you're giving the puck to see what kind of time and space he's got.
9.9, and another face-off will come up deep in the Bison zone.
And that's one of the big, huge differences between the midget, the Western Hockey League level, and the National Hockey League level. Guys will tell you they're playing the NHL. I mean, Peter, you've been there for a couple years. You know, guys will tell you it's easier to take a pass at the higher level you go because the guys read your openness quicker and better.
To the left of Wilson Sproul, who has been sensational for UFA in this first period. He's the reason there's no goals. Wong, a last-second chance, fires it wide, and first period comes to an end. Still looking for our first goal of this championship affair. Wilson Sproul turning aside all 8 shots that he faced.
Yeah, and sometimes you're going to have that kind of goaltending, Peter. Obviously, you've heard it said many times till your team gets their feet underneath them, get their legs kind of stabilized, if you will. Although I did like the way the Bison started. The Russians kind of took over. Their skill level, again, very, very obvious. And it ends up being 0-0 after 20 minutes, like you say, largely because of Wilson Sproul, the goaltender for the UFA Bisons.
Sproul was terrific. And the Russians with a good start, but nothing to show for it. The team Severstal Locomotive.
By the way, we should mention, too, that there's this team over there on your screen right now. We talk about playing with heavy hearts, kids, coaches, team officials. They knew a lot of those players on that Yaroslav Locomotive team that was killed in that tragic plane crash. And on that left shoulder, they're wearing a patch that says 0709 in the front of their jerseys in memory of that tragic, tragic day.
Bison's leading scorer in the tournament and all year is their captain, Mitchell McAllister. Mitchell, thanks for taking time out. Your thoughts on what occurred in that first 20 minutes?
Definitely, I think we got more to give. They're a quick team. They come at you quick. We got a match at, and it's going to be crucial first couple shifts of the second.
Did their transition game take you by surprise at all?
I don't think so. I think we knew what they had coming in. I don't think that we were at our best, and I think that's why we looked a little bit flat out there.
Mitchell, you've really come together as a team in this tournament. It's been a tough season. You guys have not lost a lot of games in regulation. What's allowed you to kind of take it to a different level here at the Max tournament?
Definitely, we had a lot of learning experience throughout the year. We've had lots of close games where we've had to dig deep and really find a way to either win or get the tie late in the game. So I mean, everything throughout the season has really propelled us to be here right now.
Mitchell, thanks a lot for joining us. Congratulations and best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
Mitchell McAllister, the fine captain of the UFA Bisons. Canada-Russia. A lot of Team Canada type affairs going on in this building this week. Right now, the Canadian colors carried by the UFA Bisons in a tie with the Russians after one.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Shaw supports organizations all across Canada. We're part of your community. We love how it feels to do things together. And together is amazing. You and me.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Red Bull Crashed Ice, returning to Quebec City in 2012. For more details, visit redbull.ca.
Wheel Pros, sponsor of the WHL on Shaw TV. Wheels, hubcaps, lug nuts. Wheel Pros has an assortment of wheel products for this winter season. Visit wheelpros.ca or call 403-226-7278 for more information.
This way. This is it. Welcome to your new home. Oh, I got your ball. Get the ball? Okay. This is a ball, see?
The real reward in adopting a pet is when the pet adopts you. Join me, Barb Cartwright, from the Canadian Federation of Humane Societies and IAMS, and let's help get 1.5 million pets adopted and home for the holidays.
Welcome back to the Max Championship Day on Shaw TV. We are scoreless after 20 minutes at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Now, it is with heavy hearts that the Russians return to the Max Midget Tournament this year. Players and coaches from the Severstal locomotive team remember hockey's darkest day, the September plane crash that claimed the lives of 36 members of the KHL's locomotive team. So for this young Russian hockey team, hockey is the easiest part of this tournament.
We have 9 hours drive with a bus to St. Petersburg. So then 3 hours flight from St. Petersburg to Calgary, then 3 hours in the waiting hall of the airport, Frankfurt, and then another 11 hours flight from Frankfurt to Calgary. At 1:05 we were at the airport. So at 2 we were at the reception. At 3 had a lunch at the noodle factory, and at 6:30 we have an exhibition game in Strasbourg. Our team is right now first in the Western Conference and first in the whole league of Russia. It's really good team. We have a really good team. And starting from 2006, this is our forthcoming. It was on the 7th of September when I was told that there was an airplane crash, and some of the guys are injured. Of the locomotive guys are injured. So and then probably in half an hour or so I was told that everybody is dead. So it was unbelievable. I was shocked. Like everybody was shocked. It wasn't true. It shouldn't be true. Everybody was so upset because everybody has very good friends from locomotive, because we are really a neighbor city. So many young guys were died at this airplane crash. They were 18, 19, 20 years old. The whole team Severstal was at this funeral, and then in 2 days the KHL season started. They're good kids, and also their badges, I think that they could just remember, so that everything could happen, and you have to do
every day you have to do some for hockey, right? So they're full of emotions, and I think that they're thinking about the games, about the goals, and other stuff. Okay. So the guys are so exciting about this. It's a very strong. These are very strong teams, and I think it's a very good experience for the kids. So, to represent Russia and the Severstal as well.
Now, the Severstal locomotive team has a website where you can make donations to the survivors of the Yaroslavl plane tragedy. You can find the link on the Max Tournament website. More of our intermission show coming up next. You are watching the Max Midget Championship Day on Shaw TV.
From the State Hours.
My son Mateo is a double-leg amputee.
He's so capable and he's so confident. I don't think there's anything he can't do.
Mateo's prosthetics were covered by the war amps. Without the CHAMP program, Mateo just wouldn't be the type of guy he is now.
They've enabled him to do whatever he wants to do, and it's opened up the doors for Mateo.
His future is unlimited, and he'll do us all proud.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Celebrate the kickoff to Recreation's 100th anniversary with hockey in Calgary. Olympic Plaza will come alive on January 1st with skating, hockey demos, and activities in partnership with Hockey Calgary and the 2012 IIHF World Junior Championship. Visit calgary.ca Rec 100 for details.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, sponsored by Nielsen's, the ultimate chocolate milk. For details, visit theultimatemilk.ca.
The website for the Max Tournament is maxtournament.ab.ca, where you can find all of the tournament information and, again, the place to donate to the Yaroslavl plane tragedy. Speaking of Max, I have Max Marketing Manager for Max Convenience Stores here, Ron Thompson. You have a special message to all our hockey fans out there tonight.
Yes, I'd just like to, on behalf of the Max store operators and their staff, I'd like to wish everyone a very happy New Year this year.
We had an exciting game earlier this afternoon at the women's final. What did you think of that overtime win?
Well, it was, it's always great when two teams are so evenly matched in a final. Here we are sitting at a male final with a 0-0 after one, and it's just one of those things that as a tournament organizer, you can't ask for a better thing than very close competition for the final games.
What's been the biggest surprise for you at this year's tournament?
Biggest surprise? I don't know if there are any surprises. We get lots of things thrown at us all the time that no one else seems to see, but we kind of manage through them. So yeah, no, it's good.
We have a Russian team here in the final after a few years of being absent. How important is it to have that international component?
We feel it's very important. We'd like to see a Russian and a European and an American contingent show up at the Max every year, and and certainly hope that the future years, especially with our 35th anniversary coming, we want to make sure that we have one international team in every pool. So that's very important to us.
Now, before the break, we saw a feature on the locomotive plane tragedy. How important was it for the Max tournament to get behind in their fundraising efforts?
I mean, whatever the causes are that these young people are going through or are looking to do, we want to be there to assist in any way we can. And not only from a Max convenience store perspective, but the tournament is very concerned. And one of the reasons we have this tournament is to showcase these young people and make sure that they get a fair shake when it comes to scholarships and all those sorts of things.
Now, you mentioned earlier about the 35th year next year. Any sneak peek at the celebrations or anything that we can expect?
No, I can't let anything out of the bag yet. I definitely know that it's going to be something that the fans are going to appreciate, and certainly the players from an experience standpoint are going to appreciate. 35 years is a pretty good milestone.
Has there been a highlight at the 34th annual Max tournament for you? A specific game or a specific goal?
No, I think the introduction of our female scholarship is a really big highlight for me. It's something that we've been striving for a number of years now. I'm just really glad to see it's happened, and we have our first 3 award winners being presented earlier today, and that's very exciting. And another thing is a good friend of mine is the tournament chairman, Byron Stevens. To see him take on the chairmanship role, that's been very exciting for me too.
Now, not many people know that the Max tournament is run exclusively by volunteers.
Yes.
Where would we be this week without them?
We'd be in a lot of trouble. Thank you to all 1,500 of you, because you certainly have made this a tournament for these players that we'll remember, and one that City of Calgary can be proud of being part of.
Now, the Max is known for future stars in the making. How would you rate this year's talent?
Oh, I think there's a lot of really, really good players. I'm not going to single any one of them out. You've seen some very showcased players in each and every pool that we've had. They just the talent is here, and you will see these young people in further down the road.
After 20 minutes of play, we are scoreless, but
Yes.
what do you think of the game so far?
It's a great game. Like I say, both teams look very tired to me right now. I really hope they can pick it up and see it through the next 2 periods, but it's understandable. It's a long week of hockey.
Great. Thank you very much, Ron.
Thank you.
We'll go to break. After this, more Max Midget Hockey Tournament action.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca. The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Red Bull Crashed Ice, returning to Quebec City in 2012. For more details, visit redbull.ca.
Hundreds of Canadian letter carriers are injured each year due to falls on icy private walkways. Not to mention countless other Canadians. This year, please keep your walkway clear of snow and ice-free.
For the safety of you, me, and everybody.
WHL Hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Friday, January 6th when the WHL on Shaw returns from the holiday break with the Southern Alberta dust-up between the Medicine Hat Tigers and Lethbridge Hurricanes. WHL Hockey, only on Shaw.
I'm Amy Purdy. At 19, I contracted bacterial meningitis. With less than a 2% chance to live, I slipped into a coma and lost both of my legs below the knee. Now I have lots of legs, and I feel lucky. Lucky to be alive, so I can tell you, not all meningitis is the same. Not all vaccines are the same. Get the one that fully protects your child. The Meningitis Research Foundation of Canada can help. Now you know.
For over 100 years, Recreation has been providing accessible sports, fitness, arts and culture, and leisure time activities for Calgarians. Celebrate historically significant recreational achievements in our community throughout 2012. There's more than you think at calgary.ca Recreation.
Welcome back to Scotiabank Saddledome. Bill, no goals through the first 20, but no shortage of opportunities, especially for the Russian team.
Yeah, they're so skilled. They do so many little things well, and they bring their game over to this side of the ocean, if you will. Watch 14 on the far left of your screen. He's cutting over to the right side. Look how they fill the lanes. They do that so well. They force you to extend the coverage. They force a man one-on-one, and then he gets in behind. And this is, again, going to the net, but they did that because they had all the lanes filled. And you know what? They could confuse your coverage, too. We'll have you stop it right there. You got two UFA Bisons in white. You got two guys coming up the ice for Russia. Now watch what happens. You get the wrong guy chasing. They confuse your coverage. And once you're going back into your own zone chasing the Russians, you're really asking for trouble because they do get behind you. Then Russia goes on a power play. Watch this here now. Watch the goaltender. He's looking, stop it right there. Look at Sproul looking for that play at the point. He's got all kinds of traffic in front of him. Now on the power play, two-man advantage, you want to stretch the ice one side or the other, get the goaltender moving right to left. Not Sproul. Does a good job of facing that cross-ice pass. He was terrific on that sequence. This was the best chance for the Bison. Connor Bleakley off the face-off shot. Only 3 shots on goal. That was one of them. You want strength? I'll show you some strength for you. Watch Evgeny Leeson on this play here, Peter. Behind the net, takes his man, and then gets it to the front of the net. You get a better look on this one. You want balance, you want strength. Body him off, make the pass. There's a chance, there's a scoring opportunity. And again, Sproul in good position to make the save.
No goals in the opening period. We'll be back with the second period of the Max Midget Tournament from Scotiabank Saddledome. You're watching on Shaw Television.
Close your eyes and count away. No, don't, 'cause I can't wait. Everything is free in this field of fantasy.
At Shaw, bear hugs take on a whole new meaning. Since 1989, we've given more than 335,000 Shaw bears to children when they need them the most, because we believe that one bear hug is great, but endless bear hugs are amazing.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
I used to wonder, why would a Jew, a Christian, and a Muslim ever get together?
Hello, hello.
And then I finally got it. They had a lot more in common than donuts.
Friendship. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, sponsored by Nielsen's, the ultimate chocolate milk. For details, visit theultimatemilk.ca.
The killer whale, or orca, can be found in the oceans surrounding Canada. This intelligent mammal is at the top of the food chain. Already a species at risk, orcas are threatened by toxins found in what they eat. We need to keep our oceans clean if we want the killer whale to have a future. And that's just a start. To learn more about orcas and how you can help protect them, visit hww.ca.
Igor Petrov, the head coach of Severstal Locomotive, had to be fairly pleased with the opening period. His team dominated, outshot Jeremy Friesen's team 8-3, but could not beat goaltender Wilson Sproul. Vasily Demchenko only faced 3. His toughest save, one off of Red Deer Rebels first rounder Connor Bleakley, who leads the Bisons in the tournament with 5 goals. Tikhonov was a force in the opening 20 minutes. Has a goal and an assist in the tournament. Just out of the reach for Evgeny Leeson. And icing the call 23 seconds in.
I found it interesting what the general manager of the Bison, Neil Leona, said earlier. His players peak at the beginning of the season. They dip around December, and then they peak again at the Max tournament. And again, I think it tells you an awful lot the importance that players and coaches and management of these teams put on the significance of this prize.
Well, the Bisons lost this final to the Vancouver Giants a couple years ago. Bleakley shovels it for McAllister along with Ryland Munchrath, the other member of that trio. McAllister darts in behind Karnikov. Nikita Karnikov leaning on Mitchell McAllister. Munchrath. Cycle continues. McAllister protects it well. Still with it. Blocked by Karnikov, and he'll slide it out to neutral ice as Lenny Hackman shoots it right back in. 9th round pick of the Lethbridge Hurricanes in the 2010 Western Hockey League Bantam Draft. Chuvalayev had Buholtsev open, but well out of his reach. Kiselev crunched in the corner by Hackman. Chuvalayev with Habarov. And he's stripped by Valette, and then Betnall flips it out. Tyler Wong, for me, Bill, not noted generally for his physical play, but he's thrown his weight around in this game.
Yeah, that's right. Does a good job of body positioning, getting loose pucks, getting turnovers.
Wong knocked down and out of play by Habarov.
You know, you talked about Connor Bleakley, Red Deer first round pick in 2011 draft, 21st overall. He joins, folks, Matt Dumba as a first rounder for the Red Deer Rebels. How about Ryan Nugent-Hopkins? How about Landon Ferrero? This guy's going to be a good hockey player. I love the way he plays. Big game in the semifinals against PA, by the way. Scored 2 of those 4 goals.
Nice move off the boards by Vartalnov to Nazarov. And a hooking call upcoming to the Bisons. Nikita Vartalnov.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a scoring chance that's taken away, and that's a result of, or the reason for that penalty or not. But again, there's the sign. You saw it. Obviously, there's the infraction. And again, they try to get it from that spot to there. Boy, I'll tell you, he had a lot of time to tee that puck up, didn't he? Nazarov. Don't know how he just missed redirecting that puck, but the penalty, I think, happened on the chase into the corner.
Bechtold the penalty, another Russian power play. Baldaev and Wilson Sproul had a real good look at it, and that's one of his easier saves of the game.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's, Baldaev, the shot from the point, he's a -1, and he's got 14 penalty minutes in the tournament. He leads his team in both of those. You don't ever want to be a minus unless you're playing golf, but yeah, that was an easy save.
Tikhonov shot, hit a body. Ferguson around Vorobiev, and then one hands it out of the zone. Russians' 4th power play. 2 of them were less than 30 seconds long in the first period. Sherov misses Tikhonov, and the Russians having a little trouble getting organized on this one. Baldaev, good stick that time from Devin Westby, who breaks it up and shoots it down the ice.
You've got a chance, Peter, if you can read a little bit where maybe the team is going to pass the puck. Just get there a little bit sooner. That's where you want if you're the penalty killers, you want that power play way down there, 200 feet from your net.
Sherov into the zone. Around the defenseman, Sherov, and Wilson Sproul again with a good stop. Sherov to Artem Vorobiev. Pershin now walks the line, dishes Vorobiev, wrist shot in the shooting lane with a good block. Betnall and Nerland is able to chop it out of the zone. Vorobiev again, backhand pass. Knocked away by Hackman. And it was Hackman with the solid shot blocked seconds earlier. Good shift for Hackman. Betnall, a heavy collision with Denis Buholtsev. Nerland tempted to clear it out. Munchrath bodied by Chuvalayev. Chuvalayev, Vartalnov wasted no time on the one-timer and just missed. Nikita Vartalnov, 4 goals in the tournament. He's shifty. And Sproul tested again.
You know, just a terrific play to find guys open and get pucks to the open guy. I think this is the one. Watch this pass in the corner of the rink, Peter. From that spot to there. I mean, how do you just read that play so perfectly to get it to a guy that's got a little bit of time and a little bit of space to get that shot away like Vartalnov did on that play, but that was a terrific feed.
Vartalnov again driving the net. It's loose. And Sproul able to freeze it against the post as Nikita Vartalnov continues to be an offensive threat.
Yeah, and you know at that size, 5'10", 160, he's going to do nothing but get bigger, but, you know, he's able to take pucks to the net. Really, the reason it's 0-0, shots at 3 right now, 11-3 on goal, is the goaltender Wilson Sproul. He's clinical right now.
Named the All-Star goaltender during the first period intermission, and not hard to see why. Tyler Haste for Parker Evans-Campbell, and this is where the Russians want to turn you over. Vartalnov again. That one sails well high and wide. The line of Nazarov, Vartalnov, and Habarov have been the Russians' best trio so far.
You know, that turnover, like you said, Peter, exactly into the neutral ice area. I think it's only a real good play by Devin Westby, closing the gap. Watch it coming to far left of your screen. He jumps up right there and forces that shot wide. He forced the shooter quicker than he wanted to get rid of the puck, but again, the result of the turnover.
Oleg Dubinin, he had a great chance in the first. Buhaltsev quickly the side of the net. And Sproul dives on the loose puck.
I like what Tommy McVie, you remember him? You had much to do with him?
Yes.
I loved what he said about turnovers. He said they're much like ex-wives. The more you make, the more you have, the more they cost you. You've got to be very, very careful about putting that puck into somebody in the neutral ice. And sometimes, Peter, the turnover results from carrying the puck a little too long.
There's one I won't forget.
The more you have, the more they cost you.
Okay, then, back to hockey.
Was he any good at the one-liner?
Who, Tommy McVie?
Oh, yeah.
He's got the greatest voice in hockey.
Does he ever?
Muntrath shoots it in. McAllister in deep on the forecheck. Still looking for our first goal of this 34th Max Midget International Tournament Final. Dubinin. Oleg Dubinin blocked by Dale Nerland, the 17-year-old defenseman from Foothills. Dubinin, Gimbatov scores! Ahmed Gimbatov from a sharp angle, and the Russians strike first.
There's a scramble in the corner to the right side of Sproul, and you give the Russians a couple chances. They're going to get it into the corner on the right side of your screen. That's a 3-on-2, good coverage, width and depth of the ice, but they win the battle coming up here, there, and they just get it to the net. Probably, maybe, the only one that Sproul would want back a little bit on that one. Gimbatov gets it to the net. I think it bounces off Sproul. We'll get a good look here. I think it might just catch him off the pads. He loses the angle ever so slightly, loses the body position just a bit, and pays for it as Russia takes a 1-0 lead.
Ahmed Gimbatov, his fourth of the tournament, has opened the scoring here in the final. Dubinin draws an assist. Tyler Wong right back, and there's an excellent toe save from Vasily Demchenko. Excellent response for the Bisons. Betnal to Brody Villette with Tyler Wong. Wong in the corner. Wong fans on a shot, and here's Vorobiev trying to get loose. Vorobiev to Kiselev. Vorobiev, big save by Sproul, who kicked out the right pad to Rob Vorobiev. As Hayes will clear it off Sharov, right on Demchenko. Gimbatov from Dubinin has opened the scoring here in the second. Massey pulled down in the corner with some help from O'Rourke. Bechtold, Alex Bechtold. Around Tikhonov. O'Rourke into the corner. Kevin O'Rourke one hands it to Alex Bechtold. Bechtold on the cycle. Has it again to the right point, Chandler Irvin, and that shot is blocked and flipped out by Sharov. Shots on goal, 12-5 in favor of Severstal Locomotive. Vasily Habarov loses the handle at the line. Hackman in tight quarters, lost it. Chuvalayev, backhander, and Sproul. Another terrific save as he stayed right with Artur Chuvalayev. Habarov wins a race to a loose puck. Habarov hits Lenny Hackman with that pass. Hackman to O'Rourke. Can't clear the zone. Baldayev, a rolling puck. Dubinin again. It's been Dubinin's best game of the tournament. Right in front, and Sproul kicked that out too. Russians still pressing. O'Rourke wants to ice it. Unable to. Chuvalayev wins a battle on the boards. Chuvalayev, he's hooked and then embellished it. I wonder if they're both going to get penalties. Yes, they are.
That's a call being made so often now, no question. It's a good one to make on that when you get to diving as well. Just so good at both ends of the ice, Peter. They were terrific in their own zone. They came up the ice, and there was a turnover. Watch this when you hang on to the puck a little bit too long. And very quickly, I talked about it all night, they'll get pucks in behind your coverage. That was an unfortunate turnover, and then how quickly they get that puck behind them, and in the same sequence, they draw the penalty, the Russians do, because, again, of that good skating. They force you to cover. If you're going to stay with the man-to-man, you got to stay with the man-to-man. They'll make you pay for reaching and, for using your stick when really you got to get in lanes. You've got to cut lanes to the net. That's the important thing. And sometimes, Pete, all you got to do is delay access. Access delayed is often access denied. That's harder to do against this Russian team than you think.
Glove pass, coincidental penalties to the Bisons. Parker Evans-Campbell and then Artur Chuvalayev for embellishing and an unsportsmanlike penalty. The teams play 5-on-5, not 4-on-4 in this situation. Ferguson to Tyler Hayes, backhands it in.
Number 32,
Bleakley. Connor Bleakley in the corner with Ryland Muntrath.
25.
McAllister scoots after a loose puck, wins the race. Bleakley loses the handle of Evgeny Leeson to Vorobyov. Vorobyov with Sherov and Leeson. And Sproul hangs onto it.
Even that little sequence there, Vorobyov runs into all kinds of traffic. It looks like there's at least 2, if not 3, UFA Bisons around him, and he still manages to shuffle that puck, just kind of get it to somebody who gets it to the net. And that's why the face-off to the left of that young man there, Sproul's had himself a heck of a game.
Wilson Sproul turning aside 13 of the 14 that he's faced, and many of a difficult variety.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not just 14 shots. It's probably 7 or 8 scoring chances.
Yet he'd love to have the one back that beat him.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yes. Irvin into the zone, the defenseman. To Wong. Looks at Irvin. Chandler Irvin. Bednall had an empty net, but it just rolled past his stick. Josh Bednall. Bumped down by Baldayev. Tikhonov. Upended by Wong, who continues to throw his weight around. Tyler Wong protects it on the boards. The Lethbridge 5th rounder. His shot is blocked. Vartelnov settles things down to Mikhail Tikhonov, and Kiselev trying to deflect it out but can't. Lenny Hackman, a good play to hold it in. Can feel the momentum turning here a little bit. Wong shot deflected. And Vartelnov will carry it to center. Bechtold stripped his man and then ran right into Mikhail Tikhonov. Habarov with a little room. Habarov off of Dale Nerland's stick. Nerland, a product of Okotoks. Nazarov failed to take the puck with him, and back comes Kevin Massey. The Russian stick so active, Bill, in the neutral zone.
Very good, Peter. That's exactly right.
Although they've just taken a tripping penalty. Nikita Vartelnov on his way to the penalty box. Gimbatov has given the Russians the lead here in the final of the Max Midget Tournament on Shaw.
4th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Do you know where stuff goes once it's flushed down the toilet? It travels down pipes under our streets to a sewage treatment plant. There it is cleaned up before it is sent back out in our lakes or rivers. The problem occurs when people flush things down the toilet like makeup, cleaning supplies, and some pharmaceuticals that the sewage treatment plant can't clean up. They are dumped untreated into our waterways, which other people depend on for their drinking water.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Red Bull Crashed Ice, returning to Quebec City in 2012. For more details, visit redbull.ca.
Head coach of the UFA Bisons in his first year at the helm, Jeremy Friesen, joins us. Jeremy, your thoughts on the first half of this hockey game?
So far, we just haven't got our feet moving or our forecheck game going. So I think we're on our heels a little bit here. They've got a lot of speed through the neutral zone, and we're turning the puck over way too many times here. So we've got to tighten up and start attacking and playing our game.
How difficult is it to deal with this team's transition game?
They're quick. They don't really look. They just put pucks into spots, and they know they have their people there. So we've got to do a better job of clogging up the middle and taking that away.
We'll let you get back to the power play. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Pete.
Well, Peter, this is a power play. His team is going to go on. Kevin O'Rourke goes knee on knee against Vartalnov, coming up right there. Clearly, and just maybe missed knee on knee. Certainly a trip, but really important power play at this point for the Bison.
Ahmed Gimbatov's fourth of the tournament has Severstal Locomotive in front. Power play chance for UFA, but Sherov shorthanded with Leeson, and these two are always dangerous regardless of the situation. Owen Ferguson, the 17-year-old defenseman, to Tyler Haste. Ferguson to center, and he'll shoot it in. Karnakov into the corner. McAllister awaits. And Persson will skate it out. Russians with an odd man rush developing here, short-handed. Leeson, and blocking that was Ferguson. Leeson with 7 points in the tournament. I think I've been as impressed with him as any forward for the Russians on this team. Betnal scampers in, and then knocked away by Persson. The Russians not allowing much in terms of attack. Baldaev to Persson on this penalty kill. Irvin has it hop over stick. Here comes Vorobiev, and a nice recovery by Chandler Irvin, as Vorobiev was ready to pounce on that loose puck.
I'm going to show you on the penalty kill here, puck pressure by the Russian team, and this is what you talked about. They're dangerous. Coming up the ice, there's puck pressure there. They pressure the puck in that spot. Goes in the corner. They're going to pressure the puck there. They're killing the penalty, folks. Some more puck pressure there, and eventually where does it go? It goes down and out of the zone. That's exactly what you were talking about. Active sticks, good body position. They're aggressive even on a penalty kill.
Irvin moves laterally. He scored in the semifinal win yesterday against Prince Albert. Bechtold redirected it. Buholtsev away from Parker Evans Campbell, and this is Tyler Wong. Wong to the line, runs into Vorobiev. Has it again, however. Tyler Wong. Evans Campbell on the exchange with Wong on the power play to Chandler Irvin. His wrist shot, and there to block it is Buholtsev. And the Russians' penalty is over, and here's Vartalnov onside, and Sproul comes up with another big save off Nikita Vartalnov. Bechtold in quite a tussle and wins it against Vartalnov. But Vartalnov steals it right back into the slot area, and he's double teamed by Wong and Bechtold, who skates it out. Look out. Persson, a big shoulder hit on Alex Bechtold. been a frustrating night for the Bisons.
It's a traffic jam, and nobody likes traffic jams. Look at that. Two guys right on the puck. There's a puck almost turned over in neutral ice area. This has got to get on the net, Peter.
O'Rourke shot deflected weak and wide. Aaron Macklin, and the Russians there at every turn right now. Vasily Habarov. And Nerlin with a good stick at the line. Gimbatov with a lone goal here in the second. A sharp angle shot. He's got it again. Keeps it alive. Wittenberg off the high glass. Still inside the zone. And Sproul gloves the shot by Habarov.
You talk about stretching the ice. You know if they can stretch the ice when it's 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. How about a guy coming out of the penalty box really stretching the ice? Here's a headman pass to Vartalnov, and he's that close. He stays on side. And look at the position of the goaltender, Sproul. Really, absolutely no angle at that spot. The only way you're going to beat him is you got to get some sort of a deke where you get him moving one way. Nice job by that young man. I didn't see this in this Russian team last night. And you warned me. You warned me all day yesterday.
I did, because I've seen it all week long.
Yeah, you said, Bill, you're going to like this Russian team. He looked offside of me on that play, but I'm not too sure. It was a heck of a lot of skill involved in any case, isn't it? Yeah, no, they come as advertised, and it's a credit to the Bison at this point. They're being outshot 15-5, and they only trail 1-0. It's just that they're... Wow, nice and that big save, Peter.
Off Sharov. As Leeson won the draw.
Like to see him get a few more chances, team in white, the Bison.
Rylan Muntraff, he loses the handle. The Russians' backtracking, Bill, in the neutral zone has been about as good as it can be, hasn't it?
Well, you know what the thought kind of went through my mind. I mean, we don't want to glorify this team to the ridiculous levels. There's a ton of hockey left. This isn't even an over game by any stretch of the imagination. But I've seen a lot of WHL teams not play that well.
Demchenko was so good in the playoffs. Not been tested a lot so far. Wong with Brody Villette and Josh Bettenall. Karnakov in the corner. Pershin there as well, so's Wong. Villette comes away. Irvin jumps in from the right point with a pass off the skate of Buholtsev right to Vasily Demchenko.
Yeah, there's a battle won by the Bison. I got to hand it. They do battle. They're by any stretch of the imagination out of this hockey game, but they haven't won a lot of these battles against the back wall. They do there, and they do get a chance. That throw that puck into the crease that Demchenko didn't really have any trouble with.
The Bisons, I would say, not overly blessed with skill necessarily, but they're well coached, they're well structured, and they work.
And they got a lot of heart. You're absolutely right.
And that's been the case all season long in the Alberta Midget League.
Peter, they only gave up 8 goals in the round robin, and that's 4 games. So I don't think there's a coach that goes into that tournament does say, give me a 2 goals against average, I'll take it.
The little guy between the pipes, he's a bit of a reason for that too.
Yep.
Nerland in good puck position to knock Habarov off the disc. Macklin turns and fires, hits the linesman. Might have been icing. Bettenall carries on, and Tikhonov in good position, as he is on the shot by Aaron Macklin. Wittenberg clears it in and heads off. Demchenko behind the net. Westby thought he won a race. And Tikhonov swings it out to center. Can start to feel the forecheck game of the Bisons getting a little better here. Tipped by Macklin, right to Demchenko.
Yeah, Tyler Hayes with a good play at center ice area. Break that play up. Yeah, no, I agree with you. When you've got a team, as skilled at this point as this Russian team is, you want to come back at them and take. You want positive shifts. If you can get 2 or 3 shifts where the line following the shift that's out there continues what the previous shift did, you get some momentum change. That's what they need.
No icing, right to Sproul, and No chances with Buhalsev bearing down on him.
Sproul was 59 saves on 63 shots in the quarters and the semis. I'll let people at home get their calculator out to figure out that save percentage, but I can assure you it's certainly in the 90s, probably around that 92, 93 area.
Off the draw, another chance for Vartalnov, who has probably been the best Russian forward in this game. And Bill, another thing I've been noticing, the Russians are also adding to their puck possession by winning a lot of face-offs.
Yeah, we'll show you exactly what happened there. And again, Sproul is really left all by himself. This is a face-off you're talking about. You know, all you have to do is even draw on a face-off, tie it, create a loose puck.
This time, McAllister does well. Muntrath trying to steer it out. On the stick of Mitchell McAllister for Chandler Irvin. To Rylan Muntrath onside, and then ran into Nikita Karnakov. Pretty good name for a defenseman.
Sounds tough.
Sounds like he likes to hit, and he does. A race for it. Sharov won't get there in time. 3 minutes to go in the second period, and the goal by Ahmed Gimbatov, standing tall.
One shot. You're the coach of the Bison, Jeremy Friesen. You keep telling your guys that are sending out. I mean, you're only one shot behind. That's all it is. There again, that's one of those face-off wins, and look at this.
Chuvalayev, his shot scores! Artur Chuvalayev found the 5-hole, and the Russians lead us 2.
Wow. That's a couple things. That's a face-off win. That's unbelievable explosiveness, getting out of the zone. There's no chance you're going to win that race. And the third thing on that play, it's a pretty good shot too, isn't it? Kaboom! Wow. You know, and even Sproul gets a piece of that. You know, that puck, that's not a case of losing the angle, Peter. That's just a case of the puck driving right through the goaltender.
Second of the tournament for Chuvalayev, who was injured and did not even play in the semifinal win over St. Albert last night. Didn't help that the one Bison defenseman blew a tire either, Bill, off the face-off.
Well, that was the only chance they had on that particular play, is to make sure, that you were in position to join that race. That's where it really happened. Far left side, the defenseman, not sure I got his number, but you can tell by what's happening at that point, folks, there, that it's going to be a Bison power play. Because of the interference call there. Pretty good body position, though.
Captain Artem Vorobyov in the penalty box, and a chance for the Bisons late in the period to draw within one. They could use one. Bleakley to Lenny Hackman. Bleakley with a great shot. Toe drag, stopped by Demchenko after a fine move from Connor Bleakley.
Terrific puck possession, terrific skating. Good shot.
Pershin backhands it. McAllister keeps it in. Hackman, his shot, didn't get much on it, and an easy glove save for Vasily Demchenko.
Again, in the face-off circle, this is a face-off that the Bison win. You can see Bleakley getting it back to the point. Back to Bleakley now. Close the gap a little bit. What a wonderful fake. Beautiful toe drag as Karnakov is taken right out of the play. Allowed Bleakley the shot.
Bleakley shows why he was a first-round Western Hockey League draft pick. And has it again. Bleakley pass turned into a shot on goal, and Demchenko with one of his better saves.
You know, when you haven't had a lot happening in your net, and you're Demchenko, and all of a sudden you got to come up with two pretty big saves. You got to stay focused.
Wong shoots it in. Tikhonov kicks it, not out. McAllister now. Mitchell McAllister, his wrister, and it's blocked by Baldayev. Betnal puts on the brakes. Bleakley supports the puck and it rolls to McAllister. To Tyler Wong. Wong in the face-off circle. His wrister blocked. Bleakley from a sharp angle tried to squeeze it through. Demchenko got a piece. And now Bukaltsev dealing with Bleakley. Back comes Irvin. Blocked by Tikhonov. Tikhonov's been terrific in this game. Parker Evans Campbell. Macklin going to the net. Pace, good stick from guess who? Mikhail Tikhonov. That guy has been everywhere in this game.
And the thing is, you know, when you're looking obviously as scouts do, is you're playing both sides of the puck. Good offensively, good defensively. What kind of skills have you got that might be exposed at the next level?
Power play now over. Vorobiev back on the ice. Bechtold's pass on the stick of Artem Vorobiev. And he's content to flip it high and out of the zone. The Russians with 2 second period goals. Gimbatov's fourth and Artur Chuvalaev's second have them in command in this Max tournament final. Sharov. Macklin sends it to the neutral zone. And the UFA Bisons, Bill, hoping that there's a repeat of one night ago, because one night ago in this building, the Russian national junior team led the Swedes 3-0, only to lose that game 4-3 in overtime. The Bisons will need that kind of a third period to knock off an excellent Russian team here tonight.
Well, clearly the guy that probably gives them the best chance, or certainly gave him the best chance, is Connor Bleakley. I loved what he did that period. I loved the chances that he had. He was probably by far the most dangerous Bison, and if that rest of that team in white there can kind of, you know, take a little bit of a lesson from him in terms of how to get pucks to the net, taking pucks to the net, they may have a chance, but the shots are 18-9 and really not a lot of scoring chances, because I think we've seen this Russia team pretty good on both sides of the puck.
2-0. Jeremy Friesen's UFA Bisons trail. They're 5-0-1 in the tournament. The Russians have yet to lose, and with us is Nikita Vartalnov. Nikita, pretty good 2 periods, don't you think, for your group?
Yeah, I think so.
What has allowed you guys to take the lead here tonight?
I don't know, like we have a lot of shoots, a lot of checks. We play good defense. I think this one.
Thank you so much. Best of luck in the third.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye.
Pete, you know what was impressive about that? He was the first to allude to good defense. You love that in players.
He's been very good, despite the fact that he's himself not on the scoreboard. The Russians are, and they're in command of this Max tournament final on Shaw.
Celebrate the kickoff to Recreation's 100th anniversary with hockey in Calgary. Olympic Plaza will come alive on January 1st with skating, hockey demos, and activities in partnership with Hockey Calgary and the 2012 IIHF World Junior Championship. Visit calgary.ca Rec 100 for details.
My son was 6.5.
Austin was 5.
When I was diagnosed with diabetes, I was 2.5 years old.
I would tell a child that is newly diagnosed with diabetes to live life to the fullest, and it doesn't have to hold you back.
Helping children cope with diabetes is great, but helping these kids be kids is amazing. Shaw, proud to support the Canadian Diabetes Association.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Fruits and veggies.
They come in all shapes and sizes. And add color and goodness to every meal and snack. So whenever you eat, include fruits and veggies. And mix it up. For information and recipe ideas, visit fruitsandveggies.ca.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, sponsored by Nielsen's, the ultimate chocolate milk. For details, visit theultimatemilk.ca.
Welcome back to the Scotiabank Saddle Dome and the Max Midget Championship on Shaw TV. The Russians lead 2-0 after 2. Now, many of the young hockey prospects competing at the Max tournament have been drafted by the Western Hockey League. 10 picks from last year's WHL Bantam draft are playing Midget AAA this season with the Saskatoon Contacts. And with coaches and scouts from across North America watching, players are hoping to make a lasting impression.
I was born in Prince Albert and moved to Humboldt when I was 4 and played minor hockey all the way up there, and played Bantam AA last year with the Broncos. I've actually played with Aurora Chartier and lots of Saskatoon kids with the Junior Blades program for about 7 or 8 years, and I grew fond of all those guys. The guys are a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot more attention on you. I don't know, just it's a lot. It's a big jump.
This is I think it's a big step because everyone's that much stronger, and it's the first time playing with the guys 2 years older than you. So you gotta get used to playing with the bigger guys and seeing how your game fits in at that level.
Most of those kids that are drafted are fairly skilled, and the guys, we got very fortunate to get a number of the kids that are skilled, but also we looked at the competitive edge on those kids that come into our program. They got to compete hard every night, and that's the one thing, some come with that, some are just about there, and that's what we try to preach a lot. But like I said, with their skill and their work ethic, it's a lot easier to teach them.
It's a big tournament. You just want to play well and show your abilities, but you have to play for a team too, though. You can't just go out there and steal a show. So scouts also see that you play for a team, so they like that. But no, just work hard, and hopefully things work out in the end.
A lot of our kids know a lot of the other kids that have been drafted where they sit too, but it doesn't really guarantee anything when you go into the Western Hockey League, eh? So you got to make it. You got to prove yourself. Because those coaches in that league, their jobs are on the line too. They're making sure they pick the best players, or the game they know they're developing the players too. So
went to training camp, and I thought I did well there, but they just said keep progressing and keep upping your skills and stuff. So keep adding on muscle, and hopefully I'll be there next year.
This is our 4th year through, and right now with the program we got going there, things are going pretty good. And it just says a lot about the people that's involved with the program, with the contacts, right from Jim and the managers, and it's second to none. It's a first-class organization. They come to our program, they know the basic stuff, but it's just a matter of bringing a lot of that stuff out in them, and it's through their hard work. That's what, like I said, that's what we're looking for. Number one, their work ethic, and they have that. You got a great starting point with these kids.
Yeah, I think everyone's trying to be like that and just be the person who everyone looks back on and says, I saw him first.
Oh, he led that tournament scoring, or he was tournament MVP or something, but no, it would be really, really exciting to have your name remembered as one of those guys who we play as hard out every night on the ice in Calgary. But no, I think it'd be very exciting just to just be mentioned with a couple of those guys in the NHL. So.
Now the WHL's Lethbridge Hurricanes, Medicine Hat Tigers, and Saskatoon Blades each have 11 prospects competing in this tournament. Martin Beck joins us now. Martin, you are the Czech team manager. Tell me, what does it mean for an international team to play in a tournament like this?
Well, first of all, it's a huge honor for the team to come by or come over all the way from Czech and be part of a tournament with such a long tradition like Max, and again, just tremendous amount of experience and an honor to be part of this.
Now, what have your Czech players thought of our Canadian hockey?
Well, most of them never really had experience with this kind of hockey before, so for majority of the team was, I don't want to say shock, but quite a bit of adjustment. And first couple of games, obviously we're going through the motions or just trying to learn the ropes and learn the different style of game. But I think the team adjusted fairly quickly. They were able to pick up a whole bunch of little differences and little things that we don't do back home in Europe, and I think they adjusted very nicely, and they were able to sort of prove that throughout the tournament.
What part of the experience was the team looking forward to the most?
Well, I think I've said it before. It went beyond just the hockey experience. We went to see an NHL game. We had a chance to see World Junior game here in Settle Dome. This is actually our third time here in Settle Dome. So, for a team of young hockey players to be able to come down to a building like this and see professional hockey, or junior hockey, and even finals of Max, that was amazing on its own. I think we'll be able to go to Banff tomorrow to see little mountains and a little shopping and stuff like that. But so it's an entire package, and I think we got whatever the team was looking for.
Thanks, Martin. We'll be back with more Max Midget Championship hockey on Shaw TV after this.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
I saw so much potential when I married him, but now I'm worried. I think he's drinking. There's you. You might find help at an Al-Anon family group meeting right here in our community. I found support there. You can too. Call 1-888-4-Al-Anon or visit alanonfamilygroups.org.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, sponsored by Nielsen's, the ultimate chocolate milk. For details, visit theultimatemilk.ca.
Wheel Pros, sponsor of the WHL on Shaw TV. Wheels, hubcaps, lug nuts. Wheel Pros has an assortment of wheel products for this winter season. Visit wheelpros.ca or call 403-226-7278 for more information.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Red Bull Crashed Ice, returning to Quebec City in 2012. For more details, visit redbull.ca.
Because she'll need 2 more operations before her first birthday.
Because parents should never outlive their child.
Because I need his heart to keep beating.
Because I have to have more chemo.
You can save a life right now. Please book an appointment to donate blood today by calling 1-888-2-DONATE. Canadian Blood Services. It's in you to give.
Welcome back to the Max Midget Championship Day on Shaw TV. Right now I'm joined with Craig Jones from Easton Sports. Craig, just tell us how you're involved in this tournament.
Sure. We've been involved with the tournament now this will be our 8th year. We're the official team supplier for the equipment for the tournament. So we do all the prizes for the seeding round, and then we move into the playoff round, of course, and then for the final game today.
Now, what does it mean to Easton to be a part of the Max tournament?
Well, it's a great tradition. I mean, the Max has been part of this city for a very long time. It's great that our company, Easton, can be involved in such a way where we can give back to the community. And it's a great way to spend New Year's Day. So.
Thanks very much, Craig. Appreciate it.
No problem.
We'll be back with more Max Midget Hockey Tournament after this.
Each year, more kids and teens all over Canada are learning about nature through the Robert Bateman Get to Know program.
I wish that the kids in Canada would get to know the names of their neighbors of other species.
Discover fun facts about the natural world around us and enjoy the creative art of Canadian students.
This calendar is full of beautiful art from young Canadian artists.
Get outdoors, get the calendar, get to know. Order the calendar at gettoknow.ca.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Taxi!
When you can't do it all, do what you can. Compassion for others. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
A tree that's well maintained from seedling to maturity will continue to filter pollution from the air 20, 40, maybe 60 years or more. And they don't charge a penny for doing it. At home, in your neighborhood, and in your community, trees do their part. Let's do ours. Help Tree Canada grow clean air.
You see all those flags, Bill Wilms, for one reason. Scotiabank Saddledome. The major event going on right now is the World Junior Championship. Tonight it's the final of the Max Midget Tournament. Canada-Russia. We may see that matchup in a couple of days in a semifinal. The Russians blew an opportunity to win their group in this building last night when they blew a 3-0 third period lead to the Swedes.
Yeah.
Will this Russian team do that? A 2-0 leader after 40 minutes against a Canadian team from Strathmore, Alberta.
Well, they made it very tough. 18-9 shots on goal so far. Obviously not a lot of good scoring chances. This is a goal, Peter, that made it 1-0, the first goal of the game. I want you to watch Almond Gambata throw his man, Chandler Irving, off the puck there. He says, get out of my way. You don't need to do that. You're in my way now. He gets it to the net. Watch how it goes in, Peter. We'll rock her back off the inside of the goaltender's pads there. That's unfortunate. Probably one he'd love to have back. And then you can't stumble with the puck right there. I mean, they just get it too quickly to somebody behind you. You know, that was Lenny Hackman just kind of stumbling with it, and how quickly they moved that puck into that good scoring opportunity at that point. Now, why do you shoot from this point here when you got this much traffic in front of the net? You can't get that puck through, and again, how quickly they find the guy coming out of the box. Great head-man play. Good job of getting it to Vartalnov, get two looks at it, handles it. That still kept it 1-0 until this play right here off the face-off. Archer Shubalayev, what a job moving up the ice, and he just blows it. I mean, he just absolutely powers it past goaltender there. Now, Connor Bleakley, the guy from Red Deer, Peter, you've been talking about, he's been good. He's been the best player. Chance number one there. He's taken pucks to the net. He's second play right there. Get it to the crease area. Get it into that spot. Don't know if we had a third look, but on that one shift that he was out there, he had three pretty good scoring chances.
Well, Bleakley and the rest of the Bisons have some work to do. Gimbatov's fourth, Chuvalayev his second, and the Russians 20 minutes away from winning the Max Midget Tournament. But still, plenty of time for the Bisons to make a run. We'll be back with a third period from Scotiabank Saddledome. You're watching the final of the Max Midget Tournament on Shaw.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Red Bull Crashed Ice, returning to Quebec City in 2012. For more details, visit redbull.ca. The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
For over 100 years, Recreation has been providing accessible sports, fitness, arts and culture, and leisure time activities for Calgarians. Celebrate historically significant recreational achievements in our community throughout 2012. There's more than you think at calgary.ca Recreation.
The War Amps is very important to me. I was born without my left leg. They've supported me through the CHAMP program. What CHAMP does is purchase the recreational limbs that the children use for their everyday sports and living.
When you use War Amps key tags, you support the CHAMP program for child amputees. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the War Amps or drop them into any mailbox. The War Amps will return them to you by courier, free of charge. The War Amps, key tags at work.
Up to 1/4 of the world's coastal temperate rainforests are in British Columbia, and they are among the most productive ecosystems on Earth. Everything in the forest has a role, from 400-year-old trees that shelter nesting birds to fallen logs that support new life. We must all work together to conserve the rainforest. To find out more about Canada's rainforests and how you can help protect them, visit hww.ca.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, sponsored by Nielsen's, the ultimate chocolate milk. For details, visit theultimatemilk.ca.
2-0 Russia Severstal Lokomotiv in front as we start the third period. Vorobyov, a quick shot, turned aside by Wilson Sproul. Leeson knocked off the puck at center. It's Parker Evans-Campbell battling Alexander Sherov. Leeson almost made a great take just outside the blue line. The Russian skill level has been on display in this championship affair. Mikhail Tikhonov, Vorobyov, and Evgeny Leeson. Leeson by himself, and Irvin plays him about as well as you can one-on-one. Bisons need to start generating some offense, and that has not been easy for them to do in this hockey game. They're normally not a big scoring team to begin with. Their forte is playing hard and keeping it out of their own net. Rylan Montrath keeps it alive at the line. Viktor Baldayev to Artem Pershin. Fires it ahead. Kiselev's backhander gobbled up by Lenny Heckman, and he'll shoot it in to the Russian zone.
Well, there's one that goes astray, Peter, for icing. But, boy, we haven't played 2 minutes of this period. And I'd say 3 times they've stretched the ice. The Russians have east-west, far as you can, really taxing your coverage.
It's a great point. That is what they do so well in their offensive attack. And Bill, as I've been watching them all week long, the Canadian way, and it's an unbelievable way of producing offense. We go really north-south. Their attack is way more east and west.
Exactly. Yeah. And that, that stretches, like I said, it stretches your coverage so much because, if your head's not on a swivel, you got a problem.
Brody Villette to Josh Betnall. Tied up by Habarov, gets off the check, trying to get to the net, and the Russians will be penalized, and maybe just what the UFA Bisons, that is, need is an early power play.
Yeah, that was, I think, Josh Betnall, number 17, taking the puck to the net or attempting to take it to the net. You see the call. It's not very often that Russians do get themselves in a position where you lose position on a guy, Peter, and you have to resort to a hooking penalty like that in your own zone.
Igor Petrov, unhappy. He just looks like he should be behind a Russian bench, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. Be reasonable. Do it my way.
Tikhonov knocked down, still made the clearing pass to Sherov, and he sends it down the ice. Bisons on the power play, needing a spark. Tyler Haste to Connor Bleakley, and he's just the guy to provide it. Bleakley, wrist shot and a heavy one. Man alive, can he get it to the net?
Oh boy, I'll tell you, the Rebels, you got a good one. You got a real good kid. Pete, he's 6 foot even, 190? With a howitzer?
He's a big lad. Pretty good looking future for Connor Bleakley. Bleakley with it again. Dishes off. Wrist shot by Haste is blocked by Baldaev. He's been good too in this game on defense. Betnall turning and nearly hooked up with McAllister. Nice read by Ferguson, but turns into a 2-on-1. Vorobyov in front, scores! Alexander Sherov short-handed, and it's 3-0.
When you're a skilled hockey club that has that individual skill and that good puck pursuit and that good puck sense, watch this play. It's almost broken up right there, but unfortunately, it doesn't go exactly the way Owen Ferguson would like it to go, and it results in this play. What patience, what passing, what a nice finish there. How do you cover that?
You don't. And yet I thought Ferguson made a nice read.
Yeah.
He just didn't make the play.
Exactly. You want to anticipate.
Alexander Sherov, his 4th of the tournament, and it's shorthanded, and now it's really going to make it tough for the team located in Strathmore, just outside of here in Calgary. Chandler Irvin to Lenny Hackman. Bechtold down low for Wong with Evans Campbell in front, off the Russian defender, and then hit the goal post. The type of break the Bisons really could have used. Chuvalayev whips it on target, and Sproul in good position, well out to make that save.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Chayko was ever in a position to really see that, although that puck did change quite a bit of direction on him. On the power play, a little give and go. Really, really good position in front of the net by Parker Evans Campbell, but they just couldn't convert. Puck hit, I think it just got a piece of the post.
Abarov out of the penalty box. McAllister with a great move, but then he rifled it wide. Mitchell McAllister, Russians in transition. Chuvalayev. Baldaev, now Haberov from close range, and he shot it wide. This is when it gets tough too, because you've got to take some chances. Nazarov, stopped by Sproul. Baldaev in the shooting lane, McAllister. Chuvalayev keeps it in. Artur Chuvalayev has one of the 3 Russian goals. Bleakley with an unbelievable toe drag. Bleakley, that didn't work the second time. Tikhonov with a good stick again. Vartalnov, his wrister just missed. Nazarov, robbed by Sproul, who gets across down low so quickly. Some good action to begin this third period. But the short-handed goal by Alexander Sherov has put the Bisons in a big hole. Karnakov knocked down by O'Rourke. Bechtold. Haste trying to keep it in. Tyler Haste does so to Alex Bechtold. O'Rourke over to support the puck. Pershin and Bechtold in a good tussle. O'Rourke with it now to Alex Bechtold. And Pershin, good stick. Ferguson thought about jumping up a little bit more and almost caught again. Recovers to knock down Buholtsev. Ferguson knocked him down. Vartalnov. Russians so hard to knock it off when they protect pucks.
That's some sequence right there, folks.
Just kind of have to stand up here and watch it.
Yeah.
So strong on their skates. Tikhonov leans into Macklin.
Very, very impressive group that they've brought over. You know, sometimes you don't know what they're going to bring to the tournament. They had, they came over this year. They hadn't sent a team in recent years, but it's just chance. I won't say chance after chance, Peter. It hasn't been that kind of a game, but it's been quality chances and quality play defensively that have been so impressive. So hard, too, to take off the puck, as you said.
Leeson in behind the defense, but Sherov failed to deliver it. And yet, Bill, for nearly 40 minutes of the semifinal, they look not very interested. Sherov, that looks pretty interesting. Some kind of goal for Alexander Sherov. Wow.
Watch this play, Peter, start right behind the Russian net. There's the long pass into the neutral ice area. Stretch the ice from left side to right side. Get a guy who's a left-hand shot like Sherov coming down in this spot, and you know that he's got to put it upstairs. That is spectacular goal because he's got a smaller goalie in there, and you know when Sproul goes down to his knees, he's exposing the top of the net, and he puts it there with a perfectly placed backhander.
Sherov second of the game, second of the period, fifth of the tournament, and it's 4-0.
Severstal Locomotive goal scored by number 96, Alexander Sherov.
Puck on the boards. Villette takes over. Brody Villette.
Assist to number 81, Artem Vodovoyev. And to number 55, Nikita Kernakov.
Kiselev to Buhaltsev. Dennis Buhaltsev. Another shot for Buhaltsev, and he sends it high and wide. Wittenberg knocks down Chuvalayev, who has one of the 4 Russian goals. Made it 2-0 with that hard shot that literally went through Sproul in the second period. And the puck chopped out of play.
This probably summarizes what we were talking about, Pete. Getting pucks up the ice, right behind the net. Perfectly placed bounce pass. Stretch the ice left to right. And then finish it off. Small goaltender going down. He's been so great. He's got the great reflexes. You know you got to go upstairs, finishes it off. I mean, you can't execute much better than that, can you?
No, you cannot. Nazarov to the backhand, slides it through the crease. The Russians trailed St. Albert 2-0 in the semifinal last night at Max Bell Center. Got a late second period goal from Evgeny Leeson. They played with only 14 skaters. Didn't have a lot of jump in their game. St. Albert looked like they had this Russian team right where they wanted them and couldn't put them away. And we've seen tonight, Bill, what happens when you make mistakes against this group.
Yeah, you mishandle a puck, lose a race here, lose coverage there, and it all happens. I want to respond to what you said earlier. I couldn't agree with you more. We sat there for 2 periods last night, you and I, and that was a disinterested Russian team, and we couldn't figure it out.
Well, you thought I was crazy telling you how talented they were.
Yeah, you said you're going to really enjoy this this team, and you know they really were very, very average.
Not tonight.
Different team.
Completely different.
Totally different.
O'Rourke backhands it out to Bechtold. Bechtold into the zone and
has a gap closed in a hurry, didn't he?
Yeah, guess who?
Yeah, he's been terrific.
Mikhail Tikhonov.
Knows his role.
Plays it well. Massey to O'Rourke. He'll backhand it in. Did he get to center? Yes. 2 in the second, 2 more in the third, and the Russians closing in on the Max Midget Tournament title. They were winners in 2007, and they've returned to the event, and they're closing in on another title. Parker Evans Campbell. Terrific move, but he couldn't close the deal.
He just ran out of space very, very quickly. He wanted to make a deke. I mean, that's one of the few times that the Bison have been able to get guys behind the Russian defense, and they do a good job in getting it there. And then that's some pretty good speed. Yeah, he tries to go upstairs. You know, you get to this spot. Right here, he's got to figure out, I can't deke. I've got guys on me. There's nobody that's going to, give me any kind of time and space at that spot. and certainly does a terrific job. Parker Evans-Campbell recognized he's got to go upstairs, but he missed the net completely.
Evans-Campbell with 3 goals in the tournament. Made a great inside move to get free. Turned over, Macklin! Just missed Evans-Campbell on the doorstep. Macklin in the corner. Aaron Macklin finds Evans-Campbell again. Good pressure for the Bisons in front. Dale Nerland around for Obioff, and Demchenko is literally pushed right back into the net. And some tempers starting to flare. Sherov, pretty goal, 2 of them. And the Russians lead by 4 on Shaw.
WHL hockey is live on Shaw. Watch Friday, January 6th when the WHL on Shaw returns from the holiday break with the Southern Alberta dust-up between the Medicine Hat Tigers and Lethbridge Hurricanes. WHL hockey, only on Shaw.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Welcome home. There you go. Hey. Hey. You okay, buddy? Wanna come out? Come on. Psst, psst,
The real reward in adopting a pet is when the pet adopts you. Join me, Barb Cartwright, from the Canadian Federation of Humane Societies and IAMS, and let's help get 1.5 million pets adopted and home for the holidays.
Alexander Sherov, 2 third-period goals, and Russia's Severstal Locomotive in control of this tournament final.
Let's take a look at the goals. Ahmed Gibata starts it off, throws his man off like you're not even there, and then drills it to the net, hits the inside pad of Sproul. That made it 1-0. Just a great blast by Artur Shavalav on that one. That made it 2-0, and then Alexander Sherov takes a terrific feed. That was a shorthanded goal. That made it 3-0, and boy, you want a good one? They're all pretty good, but that's a little special when you go backhand shelf. His second of the game, 4-0 for the Russians.
Has 5 goals to lead the Russians in the goal scoring department. The Bisons in their second tournament final in 3 years, and they have played so well to get here. They beat 2 terrific teams in the quarterfinal in the Calgary Flames, and then the Prince Albert Mintos of the Saskatchewan Midget League to earn a trip here. For Vorobiev, Puhaltsev with Shuvalayev. And back comes Connor Bleakley around Boldayev. But Vorobiev there on the back check. Ferguson. Tyler Wong. Wong enters the zone. His wrist shot on Demchenko. The rebound off the outside of the net. Good work by Bleakley. And Bleakley might have got away with one right there. A little bit of a chop in the neutral zone. Tikhonov. Kiselev. Valette. Back in his own territory with a loose puck. Brody Valette to Chandler Irvin.
Boy, they sense the Russians do it. When you're having some trouble handling the puck, they come pretty quick.
And Irvin carries it in on the offside.
26-14 shots on goal for Russia. A lot of quality chances. Yeah, I agree with you. The UFA Bisons in beating that Prince Albert Minto team in the semifinals yesterday. 25 goals the Mintos had scored and only 4 against. That was a good. I like the overall look of that team, as you did as well. And the Bisons did a nice job in beating them.
Vartalnov again. Nikita Vartalnov. Habarov steered aside by Sproul. Sproul's been very solid in the game. was spectacular in the first.
I mean, every goal that's beat him has been one where I don't know if he's had a lot of chance, except for the first goal that we talked about. You know, when it was shot into the crease area by Gimbatov and it bounced off the inside of his pad, he kind of lost a little bit of the post on the side. He had his leg there, but the pad got in between the 5-hole. That made the difference. Pete, tell me, they just don't. The key in passing the puck certainly at the midget level is that you make passes that don't slow players down. I mean, sometimes they'll throw a pass, a team will throw a pass, and the guy just has to fight for it. It slows him down. You know, the play dies with you. It just doesn't happen with this team.
No. I've seen them 4 times since they've come to Canada, and this has been by far their best performance. One of the great games of the tournament was a round-robin game that they played the Calgary Flames, a 4-4 tie. Probably one of the best 5 games, Bill, I've seen at any level this season.
Wow.
It was
terrific.
Sensational. Back and forth, high tempo, great goals, and ended in a 4-4 tie and a goal by the Flames' Mark Logan with like 41 seconds left in regulation.
Would you say this, well, I think I heard you say it earlier, you'd have to agree this is probably their best effort that you've seen?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So complete, especially defensively. They just have not given the Bisons much of anything, and I've just been so impressed with their back pressure. Their sticks in the defensive zone have been absolutely terrific. They've just taken away pretty much all of the Bison's time and space.
Yeah. They choke your compete level out of you.
It's a great description. That's exactly what's happened here. Victor Baldaev just misses Kiselev. Wittenberg reverses to Connor Bleakley.
He's been good. He's been very good for the Bison.
Bleakley carries in, attempted to, but there were 3 black jerseys awaiting him.
I counted 4. You're right.
At this point tonight, your math would be way better than mine.
No about my math, but I know about the vision. But should mention my partner Peter fighting a really bad throw. Done a great job to get through 2 games. And all we needed over at the Max Bell Center is to have a location with cold air blowing on us all game.
And overtime.
And overtime. Oh, boy.
Doesn't happen very often, but you fight through it.
That's called fighting through the check. You're right.
Fighting through the check. No place I'd rather be today. Baldaev. Hackman. Bodied by Kiselev. The puck comes out. Carried back in by Bechtold. Bechtold with a good move. Bechtold and Tikhonov blocked that. Massey to Hackman. Bechtold, good feed through for Massey and Pershin, and Tikhonov cut him off, and now Leeson in the other direction. Evgeny Leeson with Sherov and Vorobyov. How about that pass? Sensational pass, Leeson to Sherov, who was close to completing the hat trick. Vorobyov steals. Here's Sherov again. Sherov for Leeson, but it's broken up. Pershin waiting, tipped. Excellent stop off the redirect of Vorobyov by Wilson Sproul.
You talk about skating into check, skating into traffic. Watch this, Pete. Got the puck there? You're not going there. And how quickly, that's a transition you talk about going up the ice. How quickly do they move from making that defensive play to take away the opportunity of the Bison to score to getting the puck right there at the other team's net?
A treat to watch.
Oh, it really is.
Oh. The Russians full marks for this 4-0 advantage as they close in on the Max Midget Tournament title. Kiselev battling with Ferguson. McAllister to Betnall. Josh Betnall, good speed. Plays it for McAllister as Coach Friesen looks for any combination to work. Evans Campbell through the crease. And Chuvalayev to Bukaltsev. Bukaltsev trying to use Haste as a screen. Tyler Haste into the corner. Kiselev awaits. Carries on. And a penalty for interference is going to go to the Russians, and Bukaltsev looks at the referee like, who, me? Yeah, you just ran that pick. That was you.
And you're not playing with a big ball that you're allowed to do that. You mentioned that the Russians did win this in 2007. You know, and that was after they had a runner-up in 2006, which was their first time they were invited to the tournament. They've only been coming here for 6 years. This is 6th or 5th now. I kind of going backwards, but been very, very impressive. Well, now it's a question of, and I'll say it, breaking the shutout.
That is pretty much what's left if you're the Bisons.
Severstal locomotive penalty, number 40.
Chandler Irvin.
Kenny Buhalstead, 2 minutes for interference on the penalty of 15:48.
Into the zone, a power play for the Bisons. Tikhonov and Irvin collide on the end boards. Irvin back to the line and Bleakley. Dubinin blocks that wrist shot attempt. Wong through the crease. Good body position from the Russian defender that time in Artem Pershin. Pershin breaks that pass up at the line. Boy, if you're the Bisons, how frustrating would this be?
Yeah, that's perfectly read, Peter. That's what it is. Honestly, you might remember you were in the final, but you're going to say it wasn't a lot of fun. You will remember that.
And it's quite an accomplishment. 25 teams start this tournament. Only 2 make it here. And the field year in and year out is excellent. And this year, no exception. Vartelnov into the zone. A backhand try from Nikita Vartelnov that tested Wilson Sproul. Tyler Haste. McAllister to Haste. 15 to go in this power play. Haste off the stick of, I'm not even going to say it anymore. What's the point? Baldaev.
You got it.
You know who it is. He's got the puck now. Tikhonov. Guy should have a detour sign on tonight. He's made everybody go in a different direction.
Yeah. And he's 16.
Yeah.
5'10", 154.
He's been good earlier in the tournament, not like tonight. There is the patch that they are wearing on their jerseys. And Bill, I guess we know what that's all about.
Yeah, that's a tough day in the history of hockey.
Just
period.
Absolutely horrendous.
And you know what I think is happening too is that they are raising money, this team, in support of the families. Let's say have a look at some of the physical play. Well, a lot of skill, no doubt about that. If you enjoyed that, you're certainly going to enjoy the physical part of the game as well. You know what I will say, with all due respect, Pete, not a lot of these penalties, not a lot of these hits were penalties. We've had knees, we've had trips, you know, we've had hooks, we've had interference penalties, but we haven't really had, I don't know if there's been a target to head hit in this game. There were a couple in the female final that we had over at Max Bell, but I don't recall any here.
Congratulations to the Regina Rebels. Beat the Edmonton Thunder in overtime to win the girls' division. Russians now with a 4-minute power play.
UFA advises penalty to number 3, Tyler Hayes. 4 minutes for check to the head.
And there is the first check to the head penalty of the game to Tyler Haste.
Hayes, 4 minutes checking to the head.
Bukaltsev, fans on a one-timer. Vorobyov, who has a couple of third-period assists on the goals by Sherov. Vorobyov. Through the seam, Sherov tried to one-time that bullet-like pass and fanned on it. Chuvalayev the forward that helps to anchor. As a matter of fact, they have 5 forwards, Bill, on this power play. I'm not sure if I was Jeremy Friesen how much I'd enjoy that, trailing 4-0.
Yeah, good point.
Last minute of play.
I don't think Igor Petrov cares what I think. Leeson into the zone. His wrist shot. Rebound. Scores! Sherov completes the hat trick.
This is, again, I mean, they're relentless right to the very bitter end. Leeson is going to take that puck, and Sherov is going to pick up the garbage. There's a stretch pass. It's coming up here, and away they go. Here's the first chance, toe drag. There's the garbage, cleaned up nicely by Sherov for his 3rd of the game. Again, you want a little bit. What more can the goaltender do? He can't find that puck. Look at it. You can tell by his expression, guys, help me out. I can't find the puck.
Alexander Sherov, 3 goals, all of them in this 3rd period. The 16-year-old forward.
Assist to number 87, Evgeny Lysin.
Lysin will draw an assist, the lone assist, a power play goal, and the Russians 30 seconds away from capturing the Max Midget Tournament title. And McAllister just said hello to Akhmed Gimbatov. Although Gimbatov rang it off the crossbar anyhow.
Yeah, take a look, folks. We were talking about the expression on that coach's face. He's not satisfied.
No, he should be. His team has almost been perfect.
Yeah. Nice hit by McAllister.
What an impressive show by the team from the Yaroslavl area. Severstal Locomotive, congratulations. You're the Max Midget Tournament champions, and what we do not need with 4 seconds left is anything silly to happen. But I understand, it's a big stage. The Bisons, I give them all the credit in the world, Bill. They played terrific hockey this week. They really did.
No, they played as, I got to believe Jeremy Friesen squeezed as much juice out of the lemon tonight as he possibly could.
There wouldn't have been a team in this tournament tonight that would have beat the team that is about to win this title. That's really how I feel.
I couldn't agree with you more. And if I'm at home watching this, and even though it's a 5-0 game here, I got to believe at the 2, at the 3, at the 4-0 mark, 4-0 mark, I got to hang around and watch the skill in this hockey club. They've been that impressive. Forget about the outcome.
Congratulations, Severstal Locomotive from Russia. You're the Max Midget Tournament champions. Let the celebration begin. It is so funny how things go. They got a bit of a break when the Calgary Flames lost their final game of the round robin, which was unexpected, to clinch first place in their pool. In the quarterfinal against the Czech team from Chomutov, they gave up 53 shots on net, but Demchenko was great. They won 5-3. They trailed the semifinal against St. Albert 2-0 for almost 2 periods. Looked like they were going to be all done. Rallied with 3 goals, and then tonight
they put it all together.
They're the champs of the Max Midget Tournament. We'll be back with more after this. You're watching on Shaw.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, brought to you by Max Convenience Stores, celebrating 50 years in business. For details, visit mymax.ca.
Wheel Pros, sponsor of the WHL on Shaw TV. Wheels, hubcaps, lug nuts. Wheel Pros has an assortment of wheel products for this winter season. Visit wheelpros.ca or call 403-226-7278 for more information.
Take the 5. It is time for the next phase of your journey. My fist hungers for justice. That was my fist.
We need to get to that tower without being spotted by those wolves.
Huh? Got it. Stealth mode.
I hate this sneaking around.
Hey. Hey. Huh?
Hundreds of Canadian letter carriers are injured each year due to falls on icy private walkways. Not to mention countless other Canadians. This year, please keep your walkway clear of snow and ice-free.
For the safety of you, me, and everybody.
The 34th Annual Max Midget Hockey Championship, sponsored by Nielsen's, the ultimate chocolate milk. For details, visit theultimatemilk.ca.
The Russian team, Severstal Lokomotiv, deserving champions of the 34th Max Midget Tournament with a 5-0 victory over a very game UFA Bison's team who just were not in the same league on this night as their opponent.
Yeah, Connor Blakely, Red Deer first round pick. He was the best player. They've given him that award. That's a terrific move in that situation there. Ran through traffic, got the opportunity, tried to shuffle his puck from that angle. I like the fact he's a right-hand shot, taking that chance, that shot where he did at that point. A happy group for the Russians.
Alexander Sherov leading the way, Bill. 3 third-period goals as they're announcing the MVP of the Max Midget Tournament, and it goes to UFA goaltender William Sproul. Player of the game is Sherov for the Russians.
Peter, if the Russians hadn't surgically dismembered this UFA team when it was 2-0, it was Sherov that took things over in his own hands with the 3-0 goal, the 4-0 goal, and the 5-0 goal. Boy, he was magical. And, you know, you always felt that when it was 2-0, not a great chance. It was important for UFA to at least get that next goal. They couldn't. And then that young man there took over.
And the shorthanded goal,
killer,
that made it 3-0, really put this one to bed.
Would the captain and assistant captains from the UFA Bisons please come forward to accept the award?
As they continue the awards presentation, Severstal winning the title with a 7-0 victory over the Vancouver Northwest Giants in 2007. And I remember watching part of that game, Bill. They were kind of equally as dominant on that night as they were in this championship final. The Bisons, a terrific tournament. Did not suffer a loss, only a tie in round-robin play. As we stated earlier in the show, they beat 2 terrific hockey teams in Prince Albert in the semifinal and the Calgary Flames in the quarterfinal to advance.
Peter, they're 12-5-6 in league play, tied for 4th. And you know one thing that you draw positive from this is to take what you accomplish here into your league play. And there it is.
Great looking trophy. And soon the captain of Russia's Severstal Lokomotiv, Artem Vorobyov, will get his hands on that as the silver medals now being dished out to the Bisons, who should be exceptionally proud of their efforts.
Yeah, exactly. They should be very proud and take that. It may not feel very good, but there's not many kids on that line right there that aren't 100% convinced that that was going to be an almost impossible task tonight to beat this Russia team.
Well, they certainly didn't think that coming in, but as the game wore on, it became more and more evident.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, if we go back to the start of the game, I kind of liked the Bison start. They had, 3 minutes, 3.5, 4 minutes, and they tried to dictate the pace, and
they were physical.
They had pucks deep. They got pucks where they wanted to. They never forced Demchenko to make a big save at that point, but you felt, if they could maintain that all game, they had a shot. But that team there, they just reacted. They waited it out. They kind of got their legs underneath them and said, you know what, let our skill take over.
Lokomotiv Russia!
Part of the tradition is the winning team receives special jerseys. Those are really nice take-homes.
It's a keeper, absolutely.
And a keeper trophy that will make its way back overseas. About to be presented. And at this point in time, I just want to give all the credit in the world to the organizing committee, the unbelievable volunteers. 40 teams in this tournament, 15, Bill, on the girls' side, 25 on the boys' side. A lot of hockey. It's been quite a week for hockey in Calgary, period, with a number of major events going on. Obviously, the World Junior will continue with a playoff round in this building tomorrow, and really looking forward to having a chance to sit back here tomorrow night and take that in.
And rest your voice, huh?
Rest my voice a little bit, yeah. I don't need it until you and I get together in Lethbridge on Friday when we'll have Western Hockey League action on Shaw. The Hurricanes will host Emerson Edom and the Medicine Hat Tigers.
You know, Pete, I've been here 3 years now. I had the pleasure of working with Shaw in the Max tournament. I don't recall a rumor even of a hitch anywhere. It goes like clockwork.
They do a terrific job, and there's a lot to look after and a lot of needs and a lot of games. And I will say this, you want to talk about kids who need a rest?
Yeah.
When you play in this tournament and you make it to the final, it started on Monday. This was game number 7 for these teams this week.
Yeah, and I talked about that too from a coaching standpoint. That's a big part of your strategy. You know, you can't wear guys out. You can't, you know, these kids are young. They're, sure, they're resilient as all get out, but where it really takes its toll, Pete, is when you're killing a lot of penalties, which, you know, taxes your star players and, you know, kind of really wears you out. And I would say both teams, again, credit to both teams. It never got into a game where it was a penalty-filled game at all. I give credit to the coaches, credit to the players, and yeah, they'll sleep well.
The Russians are the champs of the Max Midget Tournament, the 34th edition. Next year will be special, number 35. And we'll see if Severstal Lokomotiv comes back to defend the title.
Well, one thing that I've learned over the years, when you're talking about hockey teams from Russia, they seldom put their product on display unless it's very good. You know, the Subway Series aside, that got to a little bit point there in the Western Hockey League where they were sending some teams that maybe weren't all that competitive. But how did they answer the bell to that? They won the gold medal last year, albeit with a terrific, you know, comeback. But generally, teams from Russia are these kind of teams. Maybe not quite as skilled as this young group right here.
And on a night where they needed to be their best, they brought their best.
I'm surprised. I really am. We talked about it last night in that semifinal game against St. Albert. I would say for a large part, Peter.
And St. Albert deserves some credit for that, too. That's a very good team.
Absolutely. And goodness only knows what would have happened had they converted when they had that 5-on-3, leading that game 2-0. But if that was any kind of an indifferent Russia team last night, they put that all to bed and said, you know what, we're going to show you. We're going to come out with all our guns firing tonight. And Pete, like you said, it was every aspect of the game. It was the defensive part, the active sticks, blocking shots when they had to, take away time and space. That's all separate from the great offense that we come to expect.
Didn't even really mention that Vasily Demchenko recorded a shutout.
Yeah, exactly. Very well.
It's been a lot of fun, and the Russians are the champions of the Max Major Midget Tournament. Canadian teams aplenty. The UFA Bisons represented their country very well by earning a berth in the final. But in the title game, the team from Russia, frankly, was just too much. Almost really from the drop of the puck. They scored 2 in the second period. And Alexander Sherov scored not once, not twice, but 3 times in the third in what was a impressive 5-0 Russian win. Connor Bleakley was the best player in this game for the Bisons, but plenty of sharing to go around. For Bill Willems and our entire crew, hope you enjoyed it. Good night from the Max Midget Final.
Music for me is just fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And I like doing it, but I wouldn't